What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Bring back the gun? Yeah, we talked about having guns. I'm not necessarily opposed to it. Sorry, hold on. Forgot something real quick to get ready. Thanks, Peanut Butter Rocket. Glad you like the ideas. Chat's responsible for some of that, so give them credit as well. Okay, I think that should be good. What do I think of IDW Silver? I only read the first story arc, which he's barely in. So I can't really comment too much. You're responsible for the good and the band ideas. Some of them. How was work, Pariah? I work late. I work the night shift, so that's why I do the streams. For me, this is like kind of early afternoon, and then I work after the fact. Will I ever review Sonic Underground? Not like a full thing, but I'll talk about it eventually. How will work be? Probably boring. Probably works at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Probably not. I would die if I did that. Boring isn't bad. At least boring is definitely bad. The hours stretch on and on and on when you have a boring job. I've actually been thinking of looking for a new job just for a change of pace. Would I consider Sonic X Metarex Arc Adventure 3? And if so, would I like it to be SA3 officially? No. It's just a good Sonic story that's very in line with that kind of Sonic storytelling. What kind of job? I just work at a grocery store. It's nothing. I get more time to daydream about writing video stream ideas and stuff, don't I? I do. I do think a lot about other things I want to work on. Um, is my wage good at least? I mean, it's pretty standard, whatever. Yeah, I got your email, Blow Walrus. I'll show off all the fan art that I got before we start talking about things. Oh, what kind of job would I want to shift to? Well, I mean, ideally, I would like to do writing. In fact, I have a writing job lined up for this summer, I think. So that'll be exciting. My first time getting paid for writing. Not counting this, I guess, YouTube stuff. I was also looking at some potential things that I'd be interested in doing. Um, I may potentially investigate in game development one day, perhaps. We'll see. That's pretty hype, not gonna lie. We'll see. We will see how it goes. I'm excited for it. At Sega hire this price. Shouldn't that be hashtag? I think you messed that up, Sonic fan. Making games or writing for games? I mean, I'd ideally like to write for games, but yeah, making games. Because I like games, game design. I have a passion for it, so it's definitely something I could see myself doing. Oh, it was a misclick. Gotcha. If I was a musician, if I was a music genre, what would I be? What? How would I be a music genre? I don't know. Am I already in Japan? No, I live in America. How old am I? I am 695 years old. Do I think Penny's Big Breakaway could make a good Netflix animated series? No. So I know coding? No, I would have to study. Like, I mean, go in either independent study and learning game development or potentially go into, like, a trade school to learn game development. Something like that, maybe. I was thinking either that or potentially I might want to study Japanese and go into, like, translation, localization work, possibly. We'll see. We'll see. You want to make fan art? Hey, if you do, send it to me. I'd love to see it. What Sonic game is my favorite tone? I would say probably either Unleashed or maybe the Rush games. Will I make videos out of these rewritten stories? Maybe the Shadow one, potentially. We'll see. I don't know. You'd love to go into localization work? Here's the thing about it, I was thinking, Soul Binku, though, is that, like, that might not be a job that exists for that much longer because AI might take over that. I don't know how people feel about that, but I've seen that some anime have started to use AI translation. I would personally think that ideally you would want humans to do it because an AI can't understand like all the nuance and intention of writing. Um, but that doesn't mean corporations are going to do that. This world sucks. I mean, it makes sense from a company's perspective. They don't see the value in a human that understands context and nuance translating. So it's just a cheaper, quicker way to get their product out to a bigger audience. They should all have a human check over. At the very least, yes, you need a human to review it. But at that point, like a human would have to go through the whole original script and then the whole translated script, and at that point, they might as well just do it. How am I? I'm doing well, thanks, Marvel fan. And what are my thoughts on AI being used more in the future? AI is a really good tool with a lot of practical uses for lots of things. Like it's great. It just it being used in the creation of art is not nah, for obvious reasons. Will I be recapping the story so far? Yeah, I'll go through it a little bit. AI being used in pariah video titles? What? I don't use any AI for any of my stuff. You're welcome, Tiza. Thanks for watching. Glad you like my stuff. I could use AI to play through the Boom games for you. Or for me. I could. I could, but I want to suffer myself through it. Yeah, I agree, Rainwar. AI is great for automating, like, shit that is a waste of time. But art The thing about AI art, I mean, I'm sure plenty of people have talked about this many a time, but art is an expression of the thoughts and feelings and ideas of the creator. AI has none of those, so it's an expression of nothing. It's a final product with nothing behind it. So it's really not even art. And that's basically my thoughts on it. Not interested. You hope AI doesn't take over voice acting. That I feel like that can go through, right? I mean, they'll try. They'll try to use AI for everything. What is this hashtag pariah for? No, shut up. Stop doing that. I've seen people like annoy Sonic Team or Ian Flynn with like, hey, check out this guy's stuff. He knows what he's. Don't bother them. Leave them alone. I'm just some random asshole on the internet. I did no. Sega, you have to hire this guy. They don't have to hire me. They probably would never, ever, ever do that. Understandably. I should hire Sega. I don't think I can afford that. Have I checked out Sonic Momentum? I haven't played it for myself yet. Apparently, AI art can't be copyrighted since they're not made by anyone. Really? That is actually a good way to kind of get around it. If you can't copyright it, then anyone could just make money off of AI art, so it's kind of worthless. That would be good. Am I planning on streaming the Sonic Dream Team updates? There's Sonic Dream Team updates. The second one is releasing this week. New zone and a ranking system are the main highlights from what you've seen. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Was that like just announced today or something? That's exciting. Have they shown what the new zone is? Is there like a story context for it, or is it just a new level? Granted, it's only 7 levels. I mean, that's pretty much what all the zones in the game already are. Oh, you're talking about Sonic Momentum, I see, Sonic fan. Yeah, I generally just don't play demos a lot of Sonic fan games. I usually just wait for something with a significant amount of content before I devote time to it, because I've been around the Sonic fan game scene for a long time, and you'd spend a bunch of time checking out this cool fan game, and you're like, oh, and you follow it, and then it dies, and that's most of them. So these days, I'm like, looks cool. We'll see if it's ever an actual thing. Which is kind of mean sounding, but I just cannot devote myself to following all these projects. There's too many of them. I say as someone who has praised Sonic Utopia to the high heavens. Yeah, that was one of the games before I got more, I don't want to say strict, but more choosy about what games I choose to follow. And lo, that game is probably never going to come out. You were shocked to see Triple Trouble 16-bit actually get finished? I mean, that's not too surprising to me because Noah was a member of Headcanon, right? He worked on Sonic officially, so yeah, he's definitely got what it takes. A team is still working on Utopia, supposedly? Are they? I haven't heard about what's going on there. How's my book going? Don't ask about it. It's not gonna be for a long time. It's hard to make time for a book and writing and YouTube and job and life and friends and a million other things and exercise and this and that and all the stuff. All right, let's get started, shall we? Let's see if this works out. I tried to get things to be a little fancier. How's this? Yeah. Look at that. Look at this whole thing I did. Making it look all pariah-y. Simply become a hermit and write the book. Unfortunately, that's not super doable. Very Pariah, yes. Also, I like generally inverted colors for things, like a dark mode, just because I don't have a screen blasting white light in my face. All right, so before we get into this whole dealio over here, let's show off some of the fan art that people have made for this little fan story we have going on here, because there's some cool stuff in here. Let's see if this works. First, we have this some sketches done by Triple C, who sent them in. Obviously there are some basic stuff, but trying to design like some demon looking things. I like the one on the second page on the right with like the multiple floating hands. That looks pretty cool. I don't think Triple C is here right now, but I like it. Let's see. Okay, these are by the Ove. He sent these in as concepts for we were talking about the animals of Sonic getting mutated and turned into monsters. And these are great designs, right? I really like these. These like really fit the idea of what we were talking about. Oh yeah, if you want to send me stuff, send it to my email. It's linked on the channel's about page. Pikmin vibes, yeah, kind of definitely has some Pikmin vibes going on, but I like it. I like how they're like really kind of stretched out from their species in some cases. Like Pocky, it's like that's kind of a rabbit, sort of, but it looks fucking weird. Very, very cool designs. They really fit, I think, what we were going for. They also have another one that they submitted of the bears from Classic, but also SA2. And yeah, I like these monster designs. I think they definitely fit what we were going for. Very cool stuff by the Ove, who's also not here, I don't think. Looks like Spore creations in a good way. I've never played Spore. But I've heard about it. What is this concept art for? What we're gonna be doing this stream. We'll get to it. You didn't have to go so hard. Yeah, it's crazy. And then lastly, I believe they are here. Boiled Walrus did this, which is super cool. This could be like the friggin' key art of the game. Just kind of the core concept. Yeah, there's Boiled Walrus of just Shadow in the post-apocalypse. I like the scar on the eye, taking the concept from earlier Shadow designs back with Terios and stuff. And that works for the concept here of Shadow is injured, so he's not fully healed all the way. Really cool stuff. I really like this one. This would be like the cover art or whatever in my head. And the motorcycle, I like how it's like kind of made of parts or something. He's got his gun. He's got a cool guy scarf for no reason other than to be cool. And I'm totally down for it. Great stuff, Boyle Walrus. I really, really like this art. Scarves rock, absolutely. They give nice secondary motion that Sonic doesn't really have. So it was a good choice. It's cliche as hell, but it is cool. Will I do a stream highlight after the rewriting is done? I don't know, maybe. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this, if anything. This is the JP key art that gets replaced by generic CG renders in the international release of the game. Well, by this time, if this would be post 06, there'd be no more 2D art. It would all be 3D renders that don't look great. Can you edit these streams? I'd prefer if you didn't. I'd rather people watch my stuff on my stuff. Alrighty, so that's all super cool. Thanks to everyone who submitted fan art. Really awesome stuff. If anyone else has some stuff to show off, send it my way. Very cool. Really dig it. Awesome job, everyone. So, let's get into this thing that we've been doing. Shadow Apocalypse. That's just a placeholder name. If anyone has a better idea, feel free to throw it out. For anyone that may have missed the last stream. So what we've been doing is we've been basically kind of doing like a writer's room pitching ideas for a hypothetical new Shadow the Hedgehog game. And the general idea that we're going for with it is trying to be true to like the 2000s era of Sonic, kind of following up like Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, that kind of thing. And in my head, we're imagining this as a dedicated Shadow spin-off, not necessarily a direct sequel to Shadow the Hedgehog itself, just a new Shadow game, but it being a spin-off, it can be like different than a Sonic game, so we kind of landed in a place of like a 3D kind of open world, Metroidvania, maybe action adventure platformer, maybe RPG, something, I don't know. And then I put a bunch of these guidelines here just to like lock some things off limits to kind of get a focused vision of what we can and cannot do here. So, only references to the adventure type games. No Sonic Descendant, because having Descendants is like a cliche tacky thing that I'd like to avoid if possible. But if we can come up with something good, fine. But absolutely no Sonic Descendants. No Maria or Gerald, because Shadow don't give a fuck about that shit anymore. No Amnesia, because that's overdone. No Shadow Androids. No returning villains. No Mephiles, no Black Doom, no Black Arms. None of that stuff. I want a new story. And then just no Blaze in there, just because that's like Sonic Rush stuff, and I fucking hate that stupid shit with Blaze being from Silver's future, so we're just gonna no with all that. And then memes. No Fuzzy Pac-Man. Oh wait, let me put on my glasses so I can read. So here's what we got so far. I organized all this stuff. We wrote up like a big mess of a document, and then I went and like cleaned it up a bit. So in an alternate future, Eggman won and took over, but his world was unsustainable and fell apart. Going with like a kind of environmental theme, because Sonic, but we're going for like a dark version of that. So like what happens if Eggman wins? Not only does he take over, but going with real world stuff, if you do that, you're gonna fuck yourself because the environment is gonna turn real bad and it's gonna destroy everything. And so that's what this post-apocalypse is. We went with the idea of a post-apocalypse for Shadow to wake up into, which I think is very appropriate and fitting. A lot of people were saying that this is just like Mega Man Zero. For the record, I have never played Mega Man Zero. I did not draw from that at all when coming up with any of these ideas. So yeah, the environment's been fucked. Pollution, it's unsafe to breathe, food and water is difficult to come by, there's barely any power, natural disasters occur because the environment's been so fucked up. The Ark has crashed into the Earth, so that fucked shit up even more. So things are bad. Things are bad. And it's like just small pockets of survivors just trying to get by and things like that. Oh yeah, the moon is broken again. For no reason. Like, it was broken, and then it was unbroken for no reason, and it's broken again, and we're not gonna explain why or how, because that's funny. Doesn't that destroy the Earth as per SA2's story? No, Sonic fan. In SA2's story, it is the Chaos Emeralds going out of control that would actually destroy the Earth. They say that the core of the Ark, powered by the Emeralds, is going to act like a bomb. So the Ark by itself would just be like a really big asteroid that would do a shit ton of damage, but not necessarily destroy the Earth. See, I pay attention to the tiny details. So here's what we got for characters so far. We have a human woman character that Shadow connects with. Probably she can fight, rather than have like a useless female character that can't do anything. We want a character that can get in there, because I think that would be more interesting. Silver, we are in the future after all, makes sense. And we are reimagining Silver, because Silver sucks. So we're going to say that after 06, this is just his future now. We're not going to have him coming back all the time to the present, because that shit's dumb. We're just going to say this is his future. Oh, do I mean Maria? Yes, I said the wrong thing. Uh, say, oh yeah, no, I see what you mean. I mean Maria, like yes, a kind of Maria-esque human character is what we're talking about. So anyway, yeah, we're just saying that this is Silver's future now, and he lives here. And Shadow was sent to the future, and so he interacts with Silver. He meets Silver here, a new Silver. Omega, he can stick around because he's a robot. '06 already shows us that. We had the idea last stream of Eggman transferring his mind into an AI, and we could do a lot of potential things with that. Metal Sonic can stick around, and Sonic being dead, Metal has achieved his goal. He now is the real Sonic, and we were kind of struggling what to come up with or what to do with that. We were thinking of a possible descendant between Knuckles and Rouge because that has a lot of potential what you can do, not just Shadow's connection with Rouge, but also we can do Chaos Emerald, Master Emerald stuff with a Knuckles descendant, possibly. And then Shadow Man as an NPC for memes, because that's fun. Enemies. I organized this a bit. So we got the animals and plants that have been mutated, like these guys here. Cool design stuff. The idea, the idea is that it's Eggman's pollution and everything has ruined the world so much and caused things to mutate, and now they've all turned into monsters and stuff. And they're kind of like the wrath of nature. Like nature has been mistreated. So now it's attacking back. Now that it's been corrupted and turned into these monsters. Shadow Man should be a descendant of Sonic Man. Oh yeah, absolutely. This story is so cool, it should be real. I mean, it is real. We're talking about it right now. That's how stories work. They exist in your mind. And then I figured, you're going to have remnants of Eggman's robots that are, like, broken and shitty. That are just left over and around, and maybe they just attack anything. I don't know. We can figure it out. Is this a rewrite of Shadow? No, this is just a new Shadow the Hedgehog story. And then at the end of the last stream, we were talking a little bit about a potential faction that likes things the way they are and want to keep it this way. We're gonna workshop that if we're gonna keep it. And then the concepts. These are like the high level ideas of what this story is gonna be. So, in the past, the heroes were defeated. Eggman took over. Shadow was critically injured and placed in stasis to heal, which is why he's been he's in stasis at the beginning and he wakes up 200 years later because it took that long for him to heal. We have to work out what defeated Sonic and what injured Shadow so badly. I had an idea that we could potentially do with that. Shadow joins with the survivors. Probably the young woman is a part of this group. Maybe the same group Silver is a part of. We'll see. Then Shadow finds Omega, and Omega's been around this whole time, so he explains what happened. Shadow finds Eggman, and Eggman would have had a turn of heart, because after everything gets so ruined, he sees that his world does not work. So then he wants to try to fix things, but it's too late. So he starts working on machines and to fix the environment, but none of that stuff gets completed and the world just falls apart. And Eggman's whole he's taken over the world and there's Eggman shit everywhere, but it's all broken and destroyed. None of it works anymore. It's all gone. Everything is ruined. And so Shadow would find a dormant Eggman AI and try to get that back going again, and then it's Shadow, we have to fix these machines and we can repair the world, and they're powered by the Chaos Emerald, so you gotta hunt them down. And then we got to a plot point of potentially Omega still wants to kill Eggman, so maybe Shadow's hiding the fact that he's working with Eggman from everyone, but then it comes out and Omega's kill Eggman, and Shadow's no, he's good now, he's helping us, does not matter, kill Eggman. And there could potentially be a betrayal there. That's pretty much everything of what we got so far up to this point. And then we kind of got stuck because of, we just ran out of ideas, which is fine. That's normal. That happens in writing. It takes lots of time to sleep on your ideas, think them over, come up with new ideas, refine things. And I've been thinking about stuff, and I've had a lot of cool ideas, and I'm sure everyone else has as well. I'm going to take a drink of water. You can see Eggman make a robot spider body to move around and infiltrate buildings to hack computers. What we were talking about last stream is either A, Eggman could be purely just an AI that's just in computers and he just talks to the characters, or he could be in a humanoid Eggman robot. Considering how much Eggman loves his own mug, he'd probably make a metal Eggman for him to inhabit. Because the whole idea of why we brought Eggman back as an AI is because I was thinking Eggman loves himself and he would not want to die. He's all about self-preservation and keeping himself alive, so he would definitely put himself in an AI or whatever. This sounds suspiciously like Mega Man Zero story. Yeah, everyone said that. I've never played Mega Man Zero. I am not taking any influence from that. What about Sage? Fuck Sage. Also, as you can see, the rules may only reference SA1, SA2, Hero, Shadow, and 06. I'm writing this as if it's a 2000s era Sonic game, so it has the feel and the vibe and the tone and the world of 2000 Sonic games. There's no Wisps, there's no Orbot and Cubot, there's no Sage, there's none of that dumb crap. Also, fuck Sage, I hate that character. I should play Mega Man Zero, very well-crafted and fun action games. Yeah, I'm sure I would love them, because I've played the Azure Striker Gunvolt games by the same developer. Just haven't gotten it yet. I have to play the original Mega Man games, and then the X games, and then the Zero games, right? I mean, I guess I don't have to, but I want to. Can we have Butt Rock theme song? Absolutely gonna have a Butt Rock theme song. I mean, we're not, because this is not a game, but a theoretical, non-existent game. What about Sage? I already said, fuck Sage, she sucks. Have I played all the Gunvolt games or just the first? I played the first, second, and Luminous Avenger X. Which I guess that kind of does a little bit of that post-apocalypse stuff, doesn't it? From what I recall? I don't remember exactly. Oh, I forgot to get the music going again, the background music. Hold on. There we go. Let me know how the volume on that is. Crush 40 in the game? Yeah, they would be in the game, theoretically. I mean, again, this is all a fictional, non-existent game. It's okay? Okay. It was a bit low, I think. Last time. Someone asking if it can be turned down a bit? I can turn it down a bit. Now someone's saying turn it up a bit. Okay, turn the music up. How's that? You're gonna hire Crush 40 to make a song for this? I feel like you can't afford to do that. What am I making? I mean, we're not making anything, really. This is just for funsies. We're just coming up with ideas and having fun. This is just a fun little writing exercise. You have an idea for Metal Sonic? He wants to kill Shadow because he thinks Shadow's a faker, and because his sensors are fucked up, he thinks Shadow is Sonic. We could potentially do something like that. Well, let me get to some of the ideas that I was thinking about where to go with things, because I had a lot of thoughts about a lot of stuff. Let's start with Omega, because I think this is probably one of the most interesting aspects of it, because we were talking about Omega betraying Shadow, and then potentially Shadow has to destroy Omega as like a big, like, revelation. Holy shit, I can't believe we're doing this in this story. Like, it would be a big deal, but it would also be like, wow, really? We're gonna kill Omega? That's insane. You can't do that. People would hate it. Turn the music down a little? Okay. There, I turned the music down a little. So I was thinking a little bit about what we can do with all that stuff with Omega. And here's what I'm thinking. This is actually a great opportunity for a character arc for Omega. Here's what we do. Omega hates Eggman and wants to kill him and destroy all of his shit. Basically out of just anger towards Eggman. He's upset over how Eggman wasted Omega's potential and just had him locked away in a room instead of using him as the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. So he wants to show Eggman that he is the best Eggman robot, and Eggman wasted him and not used him. He says that all the time in, like, Sonic Heroes, that he'll prove that he's the ultimate combat robot or things like that. So that's his motivation, is just like, fuck you, Dad, basically. So we can do something with that, where, like, now in this new situation, Eggman is trying to help, and he's trying to do the right thing, but Omega is still blinded by his anger from way long ago. So what we do is we could have a character arc here where Omega can discover that Eggman is still alive, and then he wants to kill him. And we could still have the boss fight where Shadow fights Omega, but then after the boss fight, we could have a moment of confrontation between Eggman and Omega, where Eggman can apologize for wasting Omega's potential, and he clearly realizes that Omega can do all this stuff. He's been destroying his robots for literally hundreds of years at this point, and everything else that he's created has fallen apart, but Omega is still here. And kind of acknowledge Omega's strength. That's what Omega wants. So he does that, and perhaps then Omega can finally have his bloodlust sated, and he no longer wants to kill Eggman. He develops beyond that. I think that would be a pretty good character arc for Omega. Where does Omega get his power in the Ruined Future? Where does he get his power anyway? Whatever. Robot characters in Sonic are weird. Like, are they powered by animals? We don't know. Because Omega's, like, kind of a Sonic friend, but he just hangs around all the time. It's like, is there an animal inside of him that he's just, like, not letting out, and all the Sonic friends are just okay with that? Because that's weird. You thought we weren't doing Egg Dad? I mean, we're not. We're just having, like, a moment between Eggman and Omega to sate Omega's rage and let him get peace. And now he can get a new objective rather than just trying to kill Eggman to prove he's the strongest. Omega's powered by pettiness? Yeah, basically. So we give him what he wants, and he doesn't have to kill Eggman. That's what I think. I really like that as a character arc for Omega. Yeah, exactly, Grim Jim. I think we just don't worry about what powers Omega. No more Omega being Judah stuff? Nah, I never really was in love with that in particular. We still gotta find a way to work in religious stuff, which I might potentially have an idea for. Wouldn't that make Omega boring after that, though? Well, I mean, this is gonna be a one-off story, so that's just like a conclusion for Omega's character, like halfway through the story. And then, that's it. Omega gets his story told, and then we're done. I don't imagine we're gonna be doing sequels to this. This is a one-off thing. Maybe, or maybe it would be sequels. I don't know. How am I even gonna write Silver? What do you mean, how do we write Silver? Oh, villains inspired by the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Ooh, that's a good idea, Nikki, however your name is pronounced. Ooh, I'm gonna just write that right now. That's a good idea. We could potentially do something with that as our religious influence. That's pretty, because we're already in an apocalypse. It's perfect. Hey, Gesukai, how you doing? We're working on this some more for fun. Wasn't this an alternate universe? Yeah, I mean, it's like a what-if scenario. Nah, Alexa, I don't like that. Are we gonna make the 4 horsemen robots or monsters? I don't know. We could talk about it. This is a new idea. We gotta think on it. I still have ideas I want to talk about still. So I'm gonna write in here, or possible character arc for Omega, where Eggman makes amends with him, and they become friends. The horseless, manless horseman. Yeah, something like that. Okay. What were the other things I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, Metal Sonic. Okay. So here's what I was thinking Metal Sonic, because we got stuck on Metal for a while. Here's what I was thinking we could do with Metal. Metal Sonic now has defeated Sonic. Sonic is dead. Metal is now, he is the real Sonic, as he always puts it. But clearly Metal Sonic has, like, big identity issues with what that even means for himself. So, what does it mean now that he is, I'll make sure to punctuate that. Yes, you're right. Oops, wrong thing. Where's the... I don't do emojis ever when I type, so I don't even know where the frickin' thing is. Oh, it looks weird on my keyboard. That's why I'm struggling to find it. Okay. So Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic now sees himself as the real Sonic, but that's all, like, fucked up in his mind because of how he perceives himself as not the real Sonic or the real Sonic or whatever. So here's what I'm thinking. Metal Sonic, now being the quote-unquote real Sonic as he perceives it, I think that he should want to try to emulate real Sonic and take his place, essentially. But Metal doesn't fully understand what it means to be Sonic and doesn't understand the nuance of it. So, I'm thinking Metal interprets Sonic as a protector that tries to maintain the world in the way that it is. So, to Metal Sonic, this new, fucked up, ruined world, this is the world that we should keep the way it is. And Metal Sonic, being Sonic, he wants to stop Eggman from doing what he's doing. And Eggman is now trying to fix the world, so Metal Sonic is trying to stop him from changing the world in the way Eggman wants to. And he thinks he's doing the right thing. He thinks he's a good guy. He's protecting the animals, although the animals now are like fucked up mutant monster things. And Eggman wants to turn them back into normal, but no, Eggman is bad. We have to stop him from transforming the animals or whatever, you know? I kind of like this misunderstanding of Sonic as an idea for Metal Sonic's character development. And then he gets to become an adversary. Yeah, it seems like people are liking that idea. Okay, so we're gonna put that in. Now he... Oh, Soul Binku, did you say the same idea? I either missed it, or it was last stream and there were a million ideas coming around. Apologies, but that just means great minds think alike, right? So now he tries to emulate Sonic, but doesn't fully understand, and attempts to keep the ruined world from being fixed by Eggman. I like this. It was this stream, but don't worry about it. I mean, I already had this idea myself. I was going to say this no matter what. Is this Metal Sonic as strong as the previous Sonic? Who cares? We just write whatever we want. Yeah, exactly, Marvel fan. Metal Sonic is, trying to be Sonic. Maintain the status quo, stop Eggman. Exactly. We should work on Shadow's character arc first. Well, I'm working on these because I figured these out, and I like these ideas because I still don't know what the fuck to do with Shadow. What was some other stuff that I figured out? Oh, yeah. So this here, I added this element. So Shadow gets injured, and that's why he has to go in stasis for 200 years, right? What defeated Sonic and injured Shadow so badly? I was thinking about this because... like, what is justifying this scenario happening? It's kind of lame if it's just Eggman managed to beat Sonic this time because reasons. Establishing an actual thing, I think, is a good idea. And, if it's able to beat Sonic, it should also be able to beat Shadow, so he barely manages to survive, he gets severely injured. So I'm thinking, what is this thing that Eggman has now that allows him to beat Sonic and take over the world when he didn't have it before? Because this could potentially be our main villain here. Eggman finds something or creates something, some other monster creature or what have you. And that is finally, he uses that, and it's enough to finally win. And now people are saying, yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. Could be the Four Horsemen. Could be, you know, classic 2000 Sonic. Eggman discovers some ancient monster god creature thing and recruits it to help him take over the world. And now everything's falling apart, and those Four Horsemen maybe are just left to their own devices. And they could be like a problem that we need to deal with. Could be the final. That sounds like a Super Shadow final boss, right? Against this Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse that brought on this apocalypse. Now, what they're going to be, I don't exactly know. We need to figure that out. I'm thinking probably not robots. Should probably be some kind of magical entity, right? Have some sort of thing that gives Sonic some radiation that he eventually dies from? No. He should be defeated. Have it be an Eggman robot? Nah, I'd prefer it to be some kind of magical thing. A demon, or, you know, because it's Shadow, and we need those biblical elements, so having it be demons and monsters and stuff makes sense. I mean, not literally a demon, necessarily, but something. The Four Horsemen are the 2000s monsters that Eggman uncovers and try to beat Sonic and Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying, Sonic fan. Do we have a reason as to why Shadow is MIA for that long? Whatever these things are, I guess we're going with these Four Horsemen, they injured him severely, and he had to go in like a stasis thing to heal, and it just took a really long time, because he was really fucked up. Yeah, Subsonic Sparkle, we're doing another writer's room. Pariah's writer's room. And I've added some production value to it. Look at this. Oh, is CXMZ somebody? I'm not familiar with them. Oh yeah, maybe the machine was fucked up too, so it slowed down the process. That's a good idea, Iger J. We can go with that. Maybe Eggman found the storybook enemies and brought them into the real world. May only reference SA1, 2, Hero Shadow, and 06. No, I think it should be a new. Also, another thing, no returning villains. It should be a new enemy, a new threat. Our budget for this project is $5. Our budget for this project is nothing. We have no budget. But that's fine. That's all the budget you need when it exists entirely in your mind. Subsonic Sparkle, you're just here to meme. I'm not gonna listen to anything you say. No dollars, but we got dreams. Exactly. Free 99, baby. What more do you need? So is Silver the same character, or are we gonna edit him? We're gonna edit him, and that we're gonna give him, like, real characterization, and hopefully a good character arc, instead of garbage. Fucking Hollow Earth, Agartha? What is this? Some fucking Call of Duty zombie schlock? No. Do I want actual biblical entities? Probably no, I would say, but things that are influenced by biblical ideas. When the Four Horsemen try to kill Shadow when he's in stasis, how will they not find him? You know, it could just be, like, tucked away in some rubble for a long time, and he just never gets found. That's fine. You could BS any crap like that. Like, there's the power of a writer. You can force any scenario you want to happen, and you can make it logical and make sense. What you gotta do carefully is not expose that to the audience, that you forced your scenario to happen. Because if you're too blatant with it, then people are like, "What? That's some fucking bullshit, bro." The girl doesn't die, does she? Probably not, no. Yeah, Boiled Walrus. I saw you mention that in the email. I don't know anything about any of that stuff, though. So if anyone has ideas for that, we could maybe incorporate things. These Four Horsemen don't talk or throw quips or have a sympathetic backstory. They are primordial demonic beasts who do the job extremely effectively, even surprising Eggman himself. Yeah. Definitely some sort of monsters. They're not people. They don't talk. They are just, like, kind of entities of destruction, in a way. What that is, I don't know. I mean, we could just say that they're just monsters that Eggman found, but you want a little bit more, right? And I have no idea. If we nail down a theme, then the characters could flow from that. Yeah, that's another thing that we're struggling with, is I don't know what to do for the theme. You're thinking they're horses or robots and the ones riding them are monsters? I mean, they don't literally have to be horsemen. Just having 4 evil monster things, I think that's enough to kind of represent the idea of horsemen. They don't literally need to ride horses. In fact, I'd probably prefer they don't, because that's maybe a little too blatant. It doesn't need to have a theme. If it's a quality Sonic story, it kind of does. The 4 horsemen destroy each biome. I guess theoretically, if we could imagine this game as having like 4 major areas, and each one of the horsemen could control one or oversee one or something. Saying reminds you a lot of Fist of the North Star. Never read or watched any Fist of the North Star, but I know it's like, you know, very it's what inspired Mad Max, right? So it's got that kind of apocalyptic vibe. Could the theme be hope since we're in the future? I don't know. Theme kind of is something that I usually find emerges from the story elements. Once things start falling in place, you can, like, see a theme that you can then start aiming for. Because you can literally make the theme anything and build the story that way. But that gives you infinite possibilities, so you're like, what do we do? What direction do we go in? I don't know. Final boss will be born in the center. The laser of the Eclipse cannon landed. It's radioactive because of it. Gets mutated to extreme proportions. Has no eyes, etc. That actually reminds me, DLJ. I was thinking with the mutated animals, it could very much be a thing like the Bio-Lizard, because the Bio-Lizard was not supposed to be a giant monster. The Bio-Lizard was just like a little lizard, but it was mutated by chaos energy and turned into a giant monster. So that sets a precedent for, you know, little animal creatures turning into monsters. So I think having, like, Bio-Lizard-esque design elements to the monsters and the enemies makes sense for this. Andre, thank you very much for the donation. If Eggman is being redeemed, I think he should have the best plan to fix things, and which needs teamwork to succeed. Omega should be the last one to come around, but by having a crucial part in the plan. Yeah. That's pretty much along the lines of what we've already got. Actually, that reminds me of another thing I was thinking. If we are doing this thing about Eggman, he is, you know, seeing the error of his ways, he's trying to fix everything, he's a quote-unquote good guy now. Here's the thing. Eggman has still done a lot of bad stuff. He's the one responsible for fucking up the world, and either directly or inadvertently, just by fucking up the planet, killing billions of people, right? So, in stories, when you have a character like that does a lot of bad shit and you try to redeem them, you can do that, but generally, to, like, balance the moral scales, that character probably has to die trying to do the right thing. And I actually like that idea a lot. Eggman sacrificing himself. That's like the ultimate character arc for Eggman. The most selfish, self-obsessed person in the world sacrificing himself to save others at the end of the story. I really like that idea. I think that would be really good. Just like in Lost World. Yeah, but not stupid. Also, for real. Like, Eggman, I mean, he's already an AI at this point, so it's not, like, that huge. But AI Eggman sacrifices himself. Subsonic Sparkle. I want it to mostly be a self-contained narrative. We can have little nods to things, but generally, like how Sonic Team would write their games, we just ignore stuff. Like, there's gonna be no Babylon rogues here or anything like that. They just won't exist. Am I planning on streaming for the next Splatfest? I was considering it. Maybe. We'll see. think we could explore Shadow and Eggman's relationship a lot? Oh yeah, that'll definitely come into play. So it seems like people really like the idea of Eggman sacrificing himself. So I'll put that here in the little Eggman section for now. There, perfect. Shadow does respect Eggman. That is true. Shadow does not hate Eggman. He does respect him in some ways. Shadow has trusted Eggman at times for much dumber reasons. Yeah. I mean, literally, if in Sonic Rivals, Eggman just shows up and is like, hey, Shadow, something's bad is happening. Help me out. And he's like, okay. Didn't even need any proof or anything. Figuring out how to kill an AI character will be fun. Yeah, at that point, we either have to say that Eggman is, like, his AI is tied to the robot he's in, and you destroy the robot, or if he is just, like, an AI in computers, maybe some kind of virus thing that destroys him. He has to, like, you know, plug into a computer to activate his machines, and they're corrupted, so it destroys him. Something like that. One of those two, depending on how we want to go with it. You like the virus one more? It depends. You can make either work. No, Subsonic Sparkle. I want Eggman to sacrifice himself. I think that's way cooler because it's like, it's the ultimate turnaround for his character. And again, morally, because he's done all this fucked up shit, he kind of has to die. Eggman's last line, Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog. Nah, I think it should be something more Eggman related. Possibly even a reference to Sonic. Something like that. Because with Metal Sonic, maybe Eggman has to sacrifice himself to defeat Metal Sonic. Because Metal Sonic is taking on the Sonic role here. Well, really, the roles are kind of reversed. Because Metal Sonic is the bad guy and Eggman is the good guy. So maybe Eggman can do the real Sonic thing and kind of teach Metal Sonic what it really means to be Sonic in this reversed role situation. Does Sage exist in this future? No, fuck that character. Yeah, people are liking that. Okay, so we can replace to do something to, maybe defeat Metal Sonic. Insane hating? Yeah, I do hate Sage, because fuck that character. Or as you call her, Playmobil Ray. I mean, comparing her to Ray whatsoever is a big insult to Evangelion. Inspired by Ray, but nowhere near Ray. Plugs himself into Metal Sonic and deletes his OS, deleting himself in the process. Yeah, we could do something, either like destroying Metal Sonic physically and he just dies in the fight, or yeah, it could be some kind of uploading himself to stop Metal for this or that, something like that. Its final words should be, get a load of this. No. That's what Ian Flynn would do if he was writing this story. No. Oh yeah, Donovan. He does say something along those lines in Sonic Adventure 2. Instead of focusing on the Chaos Emerald, Shadow's inhibitor rings were used against him, leading to him going MIA. Now in the future, he needs to find a way to unlock/break the rings off. That's actually a good question. It's a good topic to bring up. The inhibitor rings. Is that a thing we want in this story? Because the inhibitor rings literally are only a thing in Sonic 06. They're not established or mentioned or acknowledged in anything else, and I personally feel they're kind of stupid and lazy because they were not a thing any time before or after, so to retcon it and say, oh, Shadow has inhibitor rings, by the way, I think that's really dumb. But there is some potential, both story and gameplay-wise, of what we could do with inhibitor rings, of, you know, similar to PO6, where you can enter, you know, uninhibited mode, and that's a super power-up thing, and that's cool. But from a story perspective, I just think it's so stupid. Use this game to establish them as a real concept? I mean, if it was a real concept, it would have been established in Sonic Adventure 2. You thought they were always a thing in SA2? If it was a thing, someone would have said something about it. They just didn't come up in SA2's story directly. So they wouldn't come up in the instance when Shadow is fighting to stop the entire planet from being destroyed from the Ark crashing into the Earth. That would not have been a good time to go uninhibited. As far as I know, those were created in Sonic X, and there's no determination of whether or not those were always intended for SA2. This whole time you thought it was just a comics thing? It originates in Sonic X. That's where it comes from. Which Shiro Maikawa did supervise, so it's possible it was an idea that was supposed to be in Sonic Adventure 2 but was cut out, because a lot of story elements were cut out of that game. Or it could have been a thing that they inserted, that then Shiro Maikawa thought, that's cool, and then he put it in Sonic 06. Hoshino said in a recent interview that they were made up in SA2? Really? I have not seen that. But Hoshino didn't create Shadow. I don't know. Did he work on Sonic Adventure 2 at all? I don't know. I think he did. I think he was an artist on the game. The inhibitor rings are fine just for gameplay. I mean, yeah, that's the thing, is they have potential from a gameplay perspective. I mean, in SA2, they're not even rings. It's really weird. Like, if you look at his character art, they are rings. But when you look in the gameplay in Sonic Adventure 2, they're like straps. They have like a little like extra bit sticking out that you can tell you like pull on that to tighten them. So that really makes me feel doubtful about it. Although I suppose that could just be the modelers not matching the character design. Really weird. It's really weird. Isn't that just a bug with the model? I've never interpreted that as a bug. It looked pretty intentional to me, because it's even on the ring that Sonic hands Rouge. So they put it in two different places. There's straps in Sonic X too? Are they? I thought they were rings in Sonic X. No, they're definitely rings in Sonic X. How about no Chaos Emeralds if we want the inhibitor rings? Nah, because Shadow, his whole deal is Chaos Control. We gotta have the Chaos Emeralds. I have not seen that Project Shadow thing, Jay. I've heard people talk about it. I just haven't looked at it myself yet. Shadow doesn't need the emeralds to do Chaos Control, though. I mean, it depends on what they feel like that day. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Yeah, Eduardo, I've talked about that in my own videos. Do I like your idea? Pack 30? Hold on, let me see. There's a lot of stuff. I'm sorry, I missed things. I don't know what Jonah and the Whale is. I don't know shit about the Bible. Most of what I know about Christianity comes from Binding of Isaac. So you might have to inform me. I'm pretty sure they were always inhibitor rings. They just muddied the story so they didn't use them. I mean, yeah, that's also the thing. In Sonic Adventure 2, what's the point of them being inhibitor rings? It doesn't do anything for the story, so that wouldn't be part of the story. You don't just put shit in a story that's not relevant and is not a thing. how we work the Chaos Emeralds in the story, it's established in, like, that. It's kind of like our main objective. Eggman started building machines that'll repair the world, and they need to be powered by the Chaos Emeralds. So you collect the Chaos Emeralds and put them in the machines, and they start fixing things. So the goal is to try to hunt down the Chaos Emeralds. Basically, Jonah gets eaten by a whale until he becomes faithful to God. That's the Cliff Notes version. Okay. Super Static Pro, I was thinking the exact same kind of thing. You get access to more Chaos power as you get more Chaos Emeralds, in theory, in the hypothetical game. Sonic the Saiyan Hog, are those inhibitor rings, or is that just Sonic gave Rouge the rings that Shadow was wearing, the bracelets that he was wearing, because that was all that was left? That does not necessitate them being inhibitor rings. It could just be the only thing Sonic could get. Oh, Pillar Armando. That's not a bad idea. Or Pillar Amado. But that's thinking about it way more than Sonic Team ever would. I would just not acknowledge it. You just decide he either can or cannot use chaos powers without emeralds. Whatever. Rings are part of Shadow's character so he doesn't get out of control in Sonic X, but not in the games. It's not established or part of any story outside of 06. I don't know if I like that idea, Pack Therapy, like getting eaten during a section of the game. I don't know. We should propose our writing to Sega. This is the most interesting story in decades. If you pitch this to them, they would have zero interest in this. No. This would get shot down immediately. You know, if we could see Shadow out of control and make the inhibitor rings a lot more interesting. Yes, I agree. Like, if that was actually a thing, it would have some relevance to the story in some capacity, but it's not. Do you think people either want inhibitor rings or want to change them but not remove them? I don't know. I'm very undecided about them because I personally feel it's a stupid retcon. But people do seem to like it, and it does have gameplay potential. Yeah, we can make it so... Yeah, I mean, it probably wouldn't even come up in the story. It could just be a gameplay thing. Just like a devil trigger, basically, that he could activate. Inhibitor rings are badass, though. That's not a reason to put something in a story. Unless you're Toriyama. When the ring's always there to suggest that? I don't know, does that mean that Amy has inhibitor rings? Because she wears fucking rings around her wrists, too? Or were they just accessories of Shadow's character design? Will I make a video on this once it's done? I don't know, maybe. You like the Doom music? As do I. It's very good. Maybe different levels of uninhibited mode because he has 4 meters. I mean, we don't really need to go into that much detail on that. That's gameplay stuff for this fictional game that will never exist. What's a good name for this game? I have just as a placeholder Shadow Apocalypse. If anyone has any better ideas, go for it. So no Shadow pistol whipping enemies. I'm not opposed to guns being in this, but we were talking last stream that maybe like energy weapons is a better idea than like actual fucking ballistic guns. I was actually thinking, this is another idea I had, if they're energy weapons, you know what we could pull in? the Chaos Drives from Sonic Adventure 2. Maybe that's what they power their weapons with. Like, the Chaos Drives are like ammo, so you put it in the energy weapon, you fire a bit, it runs out, and then you have to put a new Chaos Drive in to give it more power so you can keep firing. That's a fun idea. We should make them Wispins? No. Where they're normal guns, we can energize them with Chaos Energy? I think that just energy weapons makes more sense that way. But aren't Chaos Drives part of Chaos Emeralds? It's a little vague, but Chaos Drives, as described in SA2's like extra materials, are like a solidified version of Chaos Energy that, you know, you could maybe extract that from Chaos Emeralds or maybe some other natural source. It seems like animals have Chaos Energy in them because that's how Eggman powers his robots, and Gun powers their robots with Chaos Drives, so to me that implies that the energy in the animals is the same thing as Chaos Energy. That's my interpretation of it, at least. So you could have it that the humans are like farming Chaos Energy and making drives to power their, you know, remnants of civilization, something like that. What if Chaos Drives could allow Shadow to use short-distance Chaos Snaps? I mean, I'm not thinking too much about the gameplay stuff here. Would Shadow use his bike? How do you justify Shadow riding a motorcycle? Honestly, even though Boiled Walrus made this really sick art with Shadow on the motorcycle, I think the motorcycle is the dumbest fucking idea ever. There is no good way to justify to me Sonic or Shadow using vehicles when they're faster on foot. It's so stupid. It's sick as hell. It's stupid. Here's your justification, Rule of Cool. Rule of Cool is not a good reason to do things in a story. But it's so cool. Maybe the human rides the motorcycle, eh? Because she's not fast, so she needs the motorcycle to keep up with everybody else. How about that? Then we can still keep the cool motorcycle. Huh? Yeah, it is. I'm a contrarian. No, I'm a writer. And Rule of Cool is a dangerous thing, because if you just start doing whatever the fuck you want because of Rule of Cool, then you start to make nonsense. Never know, even fast people need to rest. That's a thing in Sonic. It's never been depicted that Sonic or Shadow or like anyone gets tired. I guess Tails when he flies. But like, how long can Sonic run for? We have no idea. It just seems like he can run forever. Oh, hey, the Ove. Showed off your art earlier. These enemy designs, super cool. I really like them. They very much fit the vibe of what we're going for here. Pack Thurby, we don't need to, like, directly, like, retell Bible stories. Just some, like, light influence. And I feel like we have, honestly, all we need with the Four Horsemen idea. I think that's a very cool thing to build off of. Considering this is an apocalyptic future, Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse makes perfect sense. Shadow already uses technology to go fast. His shoes have rockets to go fast. Yeah, but I presume that they make him faster, but he's still fast on his own. God, just like the last stream, the chat is like super crazy active right now. It's impossible to keep up. I'm sorry. What does each horseman represent here? Good question. What are the four horsemen normally? It's like war, pestilence, the other ones, I don't remember. Death, famine, war, conquest. Okay. Wait, no, conquest isn't it? It's pestilence. Oh, isn't that thing of like sometimes it's like changed to something else? Because in Isaac, they have, like, the fifth horseman or whatever the fuck. I don't remember these things. Yeah, of other enemy designs, a possible villain idea? Well, we're working on villain ideas, so hold off on that. Right now, we're vibing on a Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse idea, which I think is really good. That brings in some biblical elements in a cool way. We just gotta figure out what they are. Shadow Dark World based on the name of that scrap PSP game? No. Could Chaos Energy be replicated without any source of Chaos Energy? I don't know. There are no rules for these things, because there's not an established, like, system of how the shit in Sonic works. What the fuck even is Chaos Energy? I don't know. Whatever they need it to be. Four Horsemen were a single enemy Sonic broke into pieces but couldn't finish them off. We could possibly have them, like, fuse together for a big giant monster thing at the end of the game. That might work. Well, Sonic Fan, that doesn't help us because we're trying to make them villains. The Four Horsemen, air, water, earth, and fire. Yeah, there you go. That's what they are. See, but Grimjit, we're talking about turning the Four Horsemen into actual physical entities, like monsters that would be our bosses in the game, or something. Yeah, I saw the rumor, Alejandro. That was from a while ago. Only Shadow can master all the elements, of course. For the Persona 4 Horseman thing to have parallels to the bosses themselves. I mean, it's hard because of, like, pestilence is, like, disease and shit. I don't even know what we would do for that. Progressing slowly, Matt and L. We have an idea for the villains now, which I like. Actually, this should be... hold on. Nope. Fucking Christ. Should be up in the enemies section. For Horsemen of the Apocalypse as main villains / final boss thing? Question mark? I just gotta work it out. Yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly the Horseman from the Bible. It could just invoke that idea. That's all we need. Shadow is literally Satan's son, but he's also Jesus. But he's also kind of the Antichrist. Shadow is weird. I could pull a nozzle unleash to make the Horsemen be entities created by negative chaos energy. To be fair, that idea might be a little too much of a stretch, though. Yeah, no, because I'm thinking, like, this happened before, like, the world was fucked. So, like, I don't like the idea of creating them. I don't like them to be robots or Eggman creations. They should probably be, you know, something Eggman finds and gets control of and whatever. Yeah, I like that idea, Pez Con Sombrero, that after Eggman, yeah, after they kill Sonic, they go berserk and destroy the world even more outside of Eggman's control. Something like that. I mean, Eggman would have been ruling for a time, so maybe he's controlling them for a while, but then eventually his stuff starts falling apart, and maybe a machine or something that was controlling them falls apart, and then they go crazy and just start doing their own thing. Something. I don't know. Greg, Tom, we could do that, but I don't want to have too many returning characters. We want room for new characters to also show up here, right? Maybe Eggman, Gun, Black Doom, and Mephiles are the 4 horsemen. No returning villains. New ideas. New things. If these horseman animals are analogs to the bio-lizard, if we're still doing that, then maybe they could have mutated, evolved to serve a specific ecological purpose. I mean, they don't have to be animals. They could just be like, you know, demon, monster, entity, creature things. The story could be used for another fan comic. Yeah, someone mentioned that, and I'm like, that'd be cool. I ain't got fucking time to do that. The comic I'm already doing is taking forever as it is, so this would be a much bigger, more ambitious story. Yeah, I completely agree, Green Dean. We have enough returning characters. What about Gerald scrapped Ultimate Life Forms before Bio-Lizard or Shadow? Nah. I'd rather something new, standalone. The specifics are hard to get into when we haven't really settled on the concept for the villains. That's true. Okay. We'll worry less about what they are. What is their role here? So Eggman potentially discovers these 4 creatures, entities, spirits, monsters, demons, whatever they are, and he uses them to defeat Sonic once and for all and take over. They mortally wound Shadow, put him in the stasis, and then Eggman takes over, but then his world falls apart, and now they're just kind of left hanging around. And then in the story, what's their role? Obviously, they're going to be our 4 major boss fights, right? But why do we need to defeat them? What is the purpose of defeating them? Because we have the 7 Chaos Emeralds that we need to collect to repair the machines, and that makes sense. But I figure, like, that would be, like, big, huge, mutated monsters, like 7 bosses that you defeat to get to each of the Chaos Emeralds. Kind of like Bio-Lizard, like big mutated creatures. So we would need, like, a second set of 4 bosses outside of that for the Horsemen to be in. Imagine if the Antichrist was in this game. I mean, technically Shadow is kind of the Antichrist. What's going on, Antichrist? People are just, you know, spitballing biblical ideas. Greg, I mean, Shadow doesn't really have that much. Like, at this point, Shadow, I feel, is a character with a lot of solidarity in himself. I don't really necessarily see a reason to do that. It sounds kind of similar to other games. What does? This whole concept in general? That's fine. This is just for funsies. Oh, in terms of the 4 big guys and the final big bad? I mean, yeah, it's because game structure. That makes sense to do those kinds of things. Sorry, Pack Thurby. There's a lot of ideas flying by. I miss a lot of stuff. No, Existential. I like that Eggman caused the end of the world, and that using the 4 horsemen is what led to that, so technically they brought it on, but it is Eggman's fault, for sure. What have we got so far? I mean, Rita, if you read the concept stuff, that's a lot of what we have at the moment. The horsemen keep the world in its deteriorated state. If you activate the machines without defeating them, the world would keep being destroyed. Sounds like Mega Man Zero. Yeah, I've never played Mega Man Zero. That's coincidence. Fast Phoenix, I had that idea when I was coming up with the initial concepts here. So I thought it'd be cool. Conquest is something British. Damn. Mega Man Zero isn't after an apocalypse, it's after recovering from the apocalypse. Well, this story is about starting to recover. This is tough. It is tough. Writing is difficult. It is not easy to come up with good ideas and develop them and flesh them out into something concrete. What about the other design ideas? I mean, potentially. It depends if we even want them to be based on, like, animals or something. I don't know. You think Metal Sonic fits the role of a twisted, corrupted Sonic pretty well? Yeah, I like that idea a lot. It's cool. It makes you want to try writing on your own. Writing is fun. It's difficult, but it's very fun. I've actually been working on finally making the video for that Sonic Riders story that I teased forever ago on the channel, and I finished writing the story and I've started recording the audio, so that should probably come out in the next couple of days. And I'm excited to see what people think about it, because I'm pretty happy with how that story turned out. Can this story function without humans? I mean, it could, but humans are pretty integral to Shadow, and I want them there. You don't think humans versus Sonic's worldians matters outside of aesthetics? Yeah, but, you know, Shadow stories always have humans involved, so we want to maintain that. What can you delve into Shadow and Maria and Gerald? That's, no Maria or Gerald. New things. We're not gonna dwell on the past forever. Like Shadow, we move forward. Never turn back, and all that. Can't imagine Sonic Team puts in this much effort. They probably do. I mean, writing is not easy. Even if you make a fucking mess, it takes a lot of work. Let me see. What if we have the Master Emerald pieces as collectibles? That's a whole other thing. Where is the Master Emerald in Angel Island in this? Is it even a thing? Are we just not gonna mention it? I don't know. Alright. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Let me see if this works. I think that worked. Alright, cool. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. That. Anyone, have any ideas while I was gone? How about Shadow rides a hoverboard rather than a motorcycle? Shadow, don't ride nothing. He's super fast. What's the point? It's stupid. Riders is stupid for that, too. I mean, Convo Breaker, at that point, it's just better to just not even mention the Master Emerald. Just ignore it. Iger J, isn't that basically just what the state of the world already is anyway? I suppose what we could do is say that instead of the world just getting fucked up because of Eggman's system, I like that thematically in what we're trying to do with the environmental Sonic theming, but maybe we could have it be that the Four Horsemen are what fuck up Eggman's system and destroy it. And that is what leads to the world falling apart, potentially? Like, they have some kind of corrupting force that spreads throughout the world or something like that? Oh, no, no, definitely Iger J, we need to do something like that, but working out the details is what we're trying to do here. Then it kind of seems like Eggman's world could have survived. Exactly, Boyle Walrus. That's why I don't love that idea. It gives them, like, a hard practical purpose, but yeah. Thematically, yeah, it means it kind of makes it seem like Eggman's world would be sustainable. Then again, he only achieved it thanks to the Four Horsemen, so it kind of still maintains it a little bit, but it's not as strong. Sonic fan, we already have the Chaos Emerald. Read what it says. The Chaos Emeralds are already involved in the story. The Master Emerald, I don't know if we're going to do anything with it. Then why would he turn good? Yeah, that's true. Alright, so they can't do that. They have to have some other function if we're going to use them. It throws a wrench in the whole thing? Yeah, this is... I love the idea of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse be like our major villain bad guy things. But there's not a good place for it in the setup that we've built here. Did we suggest Knuckles Rouge Kid for the story last stream? We did. That has potential if we want to bring in some, like, Emerald stuff. And I kind of like that idea, because, like, the thing is, if we're, like, 200 years in the future, the fact that it's Knuckles and Rouge's descendant should be mostly irrelevant, because it'd be so many generations detached that the character wouldn't really resemble Knuckles or Rouge very much. But one thing we can maintain is we can make them an Echidna, because Echidnas theoretically should be extinct. But, you know, Knuckles and Rouge keep that going. They have Echidna kids, so Echidnas are still around, so we have an Echidna character. And, you know, they could have some potential connection to the Master Emerald or Chaos Emeralds or whatever, if we want to do that. How about instead of Chaos Emeralds, we have Time Stones? No. Can only reference adventure games. We ran out the whole Shadow soundtrack. Okay, instead of just replaying Shadow music, I'm gonna play something else that's very, I think, fitting and appropriate for... I mean, maybe not, but it's also just good music. So we're gonna go with this. Echidnas have the dominant genes, as we know. Yeah, basically that kind of thing. What's their kid's name? I don't know. We haven't thought about that. If we're even going to do that character. What the fuck is this? Hold on. This is not a great song from the soundtrack. Let me pull up a better one. That's a bit better. This is the Anarchy Reigns soundtrack, which is a cool-ass game. "200 years is how many generations?" I think on average, people have kids when they're like mid-20s, 30s. So we're talking almost 10 generations, possibly. Click with no context. What is this Shadow story? We are coming up with a theoretical story for a theoretical Shadow the Hedgehog game for funsies. I will just play Anarchy Reigns music, that is true. Prior relevant, but what music would I want for this game? I have no idea. Someone else come up with something. We have to link the Horsemen to the Emeralds in some way to make defeating them necessary. Maybe this is where the role of the Master Emerald can come in. Okay. We could maybe do a thing like Sonic Adventure, where the emeralds have been drained of their power. I guess it's kind of like Unleashed in that way, too. The emeralds have been drained of their power, so we need the Master Emerald to restore them. But maybe the Master Emerald is broken into 4 pieces, and each of those is guarded by one of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. That kind of works? Maybe? Something? Reminds you of the Gaia Temples? Yeah, kind of a similar idea to the Gaia Temples. Maybe Shadow could try to find the piece of the Master Emerald since Knuckles died. Well, I think this would be the role of our Knuckles Rouge descendant character. They are, like, the one leading the push to try to get the Master Emerald pieces. And, you know, they joined the crew or the party or whatever. Could explain why they're still alive after 200 years. They can't die or be killed, just have to be sealed. Yeah, I mean, they're just monsters, so they just live for fucking however, forever, super, whatever. You can still kill them, I think, that'd be fine. Thanks for stopping by, Pack Therapy. Hope you had fun. Would they be a treasure hunter? I'm gonna say no, because that shit's stupid. Oh, a character's a descendant of characters we know, so they're just like that character. Fuck that. That shit is dumb. But because they are a descendant of Knuckles, they still can, like, detect Master Emeralds, and so maybe they are, like, pulled in the direction of trying to pursue that. But as a character, they should be their own thing that stands on their own. You wonder if the story's being pulled in too many different directions? Well, I'm imagining this as like an open-world action RPG type game, so we're talking like 40 hours of game or something like that, you know, and that has room for lots of cutscenes and story elements. You ever play a fucking action RPG? They have a lot of story, generally. Unless it's a Souls game. I mean, they technically have a lot of story, but you know what I mean. How would this world visually look? Kind of like this. I think this is a great representation of what it would look like. Fucking Boiled Walrus. Awesome artwork. Really captures the feel and tone, I think, of what I was going for. What we were going for, I should say. Why is everyone so obsessed with that OVA hat? Good question. Yeah, Wallace, that's pretty much my thoughts of Frontiers in a nutshell. That stuff's the good part, and everything else ranges from really bad to bleh. What's this soundtrack? This is the Anarchy Reigns soundtrack, which is a super cool game that nobody played, but it's very fun. Alright, so I'm liking these ideas, which means, where was that? So, for Esme of the Apocalypse's main villain / boss thing. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. They guard, Master Emerald pieces and need to be defeated. And then over here, the Chaos Emeralds have lost their power and need to be restored by the Master Emerald. I capitalized it earlier, but I didn't capitalize it here. Deal with it. But that has been broken into pieces and need to be recovered. No, my proper nouns. Is the Master Emerald a proper noun? The Master Emerald isn't a person. Like, people usually write Chaos Emeralds capitalized, but they're just some rocks. Are those proper nouns? Okay, here, I'll fix it. There. There, that's what everybody wanted, right? Problem solved. It is implied they have personhood. Not in the games. The only thing I can think of that implies the Chaos Emeralds have a will is Sonic X. Oh, I think Sonic Rush maybe implies it a little bit. I think. You'll name your son Master Emerald. Sonic Rush Adventure does it? Oh yeah, it's Rush Adventure, not Rush. How do I feel about the Spin Dash in Frontiers? You didn't know about the DLC until just recently. I'm having so much fun. I mean, it's basically just an overpowered boost where you can fly, which is fun to mess around with, for sure. Okay, DLG, I kind of like that idea. The Four Horsemen, use the Master Emerald for negative energy stuff. That's kind of a cool idea. Yo, this music is so good. Y'all haven't fucking played Anarchy Reigns, because of course you haven't. But listen to this goddamn music. It's so sick. Here's another thing I want to bring up that I had an idea for. So, I brought up last stream. Damn. Y'all don't know quality when you're listening to it. Last stream I brought up the idea of maybe the air is so polluted, that people can't breathe. Like, you can't breathe if you go outside. People need to wear masks. And a lot of people in the chat were against that idea because they're like, no COVID flashbacks. I did not mean that kind of mask. I didn't mean a cloth mask. I meant like a gas mask, like a breather, and what do you call it? What are those called? Ventilators or something? And, you know, this could be like big sci-fi helmets that people are wearing. A rebreather, yes, that's it. Yeah, thank you. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, and Shadow can be immune. He doesn't need to wear a mask. The thing is, then we can't see characters' faces. But here's an idea I had, right? So we have these machines that Eggman built that are meant to restore the world back to normal, and they need to be powered by the Chaos Emeralds. And this is kind of where some of that Metroidvania stuff might come in a little bit. I was thinking, what if each time you get a Chaos Emerald back in a machine and get it operational, maybe that actually has an impact on the world, like, specifically. Like, each machine is built to fix a specific problem. So, potentially, the first machine could be to clean up the air. So, you get the first Chaos Emerald, get it in the first machine, repair it, get it working again, and that cleans out the air, and then people can take off their masks and breathe outside, and that could be a nice, you know, big moment for the characters to feel like they're making progress and doing things. And then, you know, we could clean out the water with one machine. We could, you know, you could have plants start to grow back from another machine. That kind of thing. You could have, like, one region of the game that's, like, frozen over, and you can fix that machine, and then the ice melts, and it goes back to how it was supposed to be. The deserts go back to normal, and rain starts coming down, and we fix each part of the fucked up world using each individual machine powered by an individual Chaos Emerald, and that could lead to Metroidvania stuff, where, you can... once the ice melts, you can access new areas, or once the plants grow, then there could be like a tree that you could climb on and that can get you to a new area, and things like that. That much destruction for so long can't be fixed that easily? Chaos Emerald, magic, whatever. I mean, I agree, but it's, you know, we're trying to convey that idea. How about the Horsemen are leftover creations from Black Arms that were left in Earth during Shadow 05 and Eggman found them? I'd like it to be separate from the Black Arms, I think. I just want a totally new thing. What's the total number of connected stages? I have no idea. I haven't thought about it. It doesn't matter. Whatever. You just have environments. Any remnants of Gun? No, Eggman took over, and it's been so long that I think Gun is gone. Restoring the world in the same way that it was in Sonic 1? Yeah, Cookie, but I like the idea of using machines because it kind of emphasizes that theming of, like, humans now using technology in the right way to fix the problem that they have put themselves into, which is very reflective of reality and what we have to do, you know? That's what I'm going for. Who's writing the character dialogue in this game? Maikawa or Izuka? Me. Do we call the good guys the Restoration? They probably don't have a stupid name. We need to write this down? Okay, this would go in concepts. Yeah, probably there. Machine is built, I can't type, to repair a certain aspect of the broken world. And as each is repaired, certain parts of the world are fixed. Air becomes breathable, ice melts. That's not melts. Plants regrow, etc. Maybe for every emerald you restore, Shadow gains an ability? Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. You'll pass if it's a Metroidvania game like this for you? Well, fortunately, Neo Arcadia, this isn't a real game that exists, so it doesn't really matter very much. Please tell me Metal says the only thing that's gonna get conquered is your face, Eggman. We could do that. If Metal Sonic can speak now, we could have it be like Metal misinterpreting Sonic. His characterization is Pontac and Graph Sonic. Well, people would hate that. I would hate that. That'd be annoying. Why is this incorrect? Oh, it needs to be recovered. Fine. Fine. Fucking proper grammar shit. Only question is, how come Eggman hasn't already gathered the emeralds? That is a good question. I brought that up. I put it in here. What is keeping the emeralds out of reach this whole time? So, okay, Eggman started building these machines, and they need the Chaos Emeralds to be completed. Why didn't he do that? What prevented that from happening? The Horseman. See, I was thinking, I kind of mentioned it before, that each Chaos Emerald should probably be guarded by, like, a boss fight. So it's just like a big-ass fucking monster. Like, Bio-Lizard-esque, some animal that was mutated so severely, and it's this giant fucking kaiju thing now. And those 7 things, like, roam the world. And, they're a big fucking problem. And Eggman wasn't able to deal with them and get the emeralds. Perhaps they actually have the emeralds, and the emeralds are what mutated them so much more than everything else, you know, from the Chaos Energy, similar to the Bio-Lizard. Something like that. Yeah, Chakalon and me, same page. How about the Horsemen are beings born out of the solar system's planets and landed on Earth in stasis state millions of years ago, and Eggman found them? Tie back to Shadow space-related origins? I don't know if that's really necessary, that they be from space. Could Shadow be, like, silent protagonist symbol link? No, Shadow talks. Oh, it's been confirmed that Keanu Reeves is playing Shadow? Okay. Seems like a good pick to me. Nice to have a Shadow that's more kind of somber in his voice rather than grr, I'm evil, like current American Shadow voice. Sonic Spirit could guide Shadow? No, I don't want that. I want this to be detached from Shadow. Thoughts on Chaos Sonic? It's fine. Works for Sonic Prime. So... what has been keeping the emeralds out of reach this whole time? We figured that out, I think. Let's see. 7 super mutated animals that possess the Chaos Emeralds. There we go. It turns out Omochao was pulling the strings the whole time. Oh, what is the song? This is from Anarchy Reigns soundtrack. If I were to choose an English Sonic VA, what would I pick? Does it have to be, like, people that have voiced Sonic, or can I pick any actor I want? Does this world still have the factions? What factions? We have factions. Basically, we have the mutated plants and animals, Eggman's robots roaming around. Oh yeah, the idea of people that want to keep it this way. That's basically Metal Sonic at this point, so we can get rid of that. And then we got our 4 horsemen. What about the Knuckles and Rouge Descendant character? We can try to hash out some details of, because this is a new character. We are creating an OC, everybody. So what are we doing with this character? I think they're gonna lead us in the direction of pursuing the 4 horsemen to get the Master Emerald pieces. Beyond that, what is this character? I guess we need to slow down a little bit and wind back. So, the concept I was thinking of is, so Shadow is in stasis for hundreds of years, and he wakes up. And I'm thinking that we have the human woman is the one that wakes him up. Perhaps she knew about Shadow, and perhaps she's been looking for Shadow, like... And everyone thinks that she's wasting her time. Like, stop with this Shadow thing. He's gone. It's been hundreds of years, whatever. And she's like, no, he's still there. I can find him. And then eventually she finally finds Shadow. And awakens him and is like, yes, Shadow, save us. So now Shadow's waking up to this world with this woman here. You like that she stumbled on him accidentally? I like that she was actively looking for Shadow. I think that makes more sense. I think that also fits Shiro Maikawa's original concept. It'd be any voice actor who voiced Sonic ever, then probably Ryan Drummond. Is she a Maria stand-in? I mean, she's gonna be a very different character, but we're gonna try to invoke similar kinds of things out of her. Something, and she wakes up Shadow and then takes him back to, like, her survivor group. Bryce swears he's never played Mega Man Zero. I haven't. I have genuinely not played Mega Man Zero. I do not know. This is all coincidence if this is similar to Mega Man Zero. So, you know what that means? It means they had the right ideas with Mega Man Zero and they knew what they were doing. So yeah, she takes Shadow back to their group of survivors, and then I am imagining that's probably the same group that Silver is a part of. I was thinking potentially Silver could lead a different group of survivors, and they could have, like, a rivalry going on, but I kind of don't want to have that. I feel like the people left surviving, it should very much be a man versus world scenario, and I don't think we want to have, like, warring factions of survivors, because that's a bunch of annoying stuff. So I kind of like the idea of just people trying to survive. We probably wouldn't even have other factions. It would just be the one group of survivors that we meet. That's what I think. So in that case, it makes the most sense for Silver to be part of this group. And he's either the leader of it, or he's like one of their main dudes that goes out and, you know, tries to protect it and collect resources, scavenge, whatever. And I would imagine that then this this Knuckles Rouge descendant character is also part of the same survivor group, right? It's mixed. Some humans, some animal characters, right? Does Shadow have memories? I don't know. Does he even have his memories right now? We don't even know. Can the Maria stand-in be named Alice, since Maria's design is based off of Alice from Alice in Wonderland? Sure, that's fine. That works. Why not? I'm gonna put that in right now, because I can't... What's a better reason to name her something? There we go. We have a name for her now. I like it. Is she intentionally based off of Alice in Wonderland, or is that just coincidental? I mean, she looks just like fucking Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Well, now we need to add a white rabbit based off Sonic's original concept, obviously. We don't. Alice Kinto board? No. That Kinto board shit is not part of the games at all. They're fucking monsters out there, man. Somebody's gotta kill them. You can keep your justice, man. I got my justice right here. I don't know, Neo. We could potentially do something like that, like Shadow inspires something in her. That's possible. Not a bad idea. Four Horsemen could be Wonderland themed? I don't know. They're already Four Horsemen themed. Let's make Alice tomboyish. I was kind of thinking in that direction. Have her be a bit tomboyish. Like, she's a scavenger. She's part of this, like, horrible world where everything's fucked. So she's, like, capable, competent. She can fight. What the hell does... Wait, what the hell does Alice even do? Well, for one, she would be waking up Shadow. Two, she brings him back to her survivor group, which would be like your main base that you would return to throughout the story. And she's also going to be an emotional touchstone for Shadow. We'll have to figure out what we want to do with her character and their relationship. Give her a flaw, make her a bit ready to fight. Yeah, she'll have stuff. We'll work that out. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Enerjack. I kind of like that. And Silver, we need to figure out what we're doing with Silver, too. We don't know. You pictured her with brown skin and dark hair? I mean, she could still have that and be named Alice. That's fine. I really don't care what she looks like, to be honest. She could be anything. It'd be fine. Makes no difference. Multiple endings? Probably not. Gotta be an anime waifu. I mean, she probably will be to many people. You can have a mechanic techno person. See, I was thinking about something like that, PezCon, but then someone pointed out, if we need like a tech, you know, mechanic inventor, the fuck? If we need that kind of character, we could just have Eggman do that. So it's kind of redundant. How old is Alice? I imagine her as like a young adult, like early 20s or something. Maybe even like 18, I guess. That'd be fine. She could be Shadow's Tails. Or we could just have her be her own thing. That's also an option. Who makes the tech after Eggman dies? I guess we probably should have, like, scientist characters in here, right? That, because if this is a group of survivors, they need, you know, scavengers and soldiers, but they need, yeah, people that, repair their machinery and what technology they do have. They need people that try to grow food or something. So it would make sense. I mean, it depends how many characters we want to get involved here, because I feel like we should have at least one other human character maybe involved in some capacity. What about Eggman teaching someone how to use tech? That's possible. Like, they're like a novice techie that's trying to figure stuff out, and then Eggman comes in and kind of teaches them more advanced stuff. Eggman takes on, like, a mentor role to that character. That's an option. Mummy Eggman in a walking coffin sounds morbid. I mean, he's an AI. Alice could be a mechanic? Yeah, she could be that character. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Pillar Amato. That's not a bad idea at all. She uses a mech to fight, so she's kind of the techie character, and then Eggman starts to teach her. Not a bad idea, I don't think. Not a bad idea at all. Alice is better than Sage. Damn, already. Maybe Nux Descendant is a tech person. Have them make some kind of chaos-infused weaponry. Not too sure about this one, but an idea. And cool mix of Rouge's gun background and Knuckles' mystic background. That's not, like, a terrible idea. Like, they have knowledge of both chaos energy stuff, because Knuckles, and knowledge of, you know, gun and technology stuff, so it could also be that character. It's also kind of like a nice subversion for Knuckles' descendant. If they're going to be an Echidna, we expect them to invoke Knuckles, so they'd be like a fighter, aggressive type character, but then they're the techie. You like the Knuckles' descendant also being a girl? I was kind of thinking that too. I kind of like that idea as well. A female Echidna character. I want to say, in my head, she could be pink, but I don't want to do that because racist. I want to do that because Knuckles is red and Rouge is white. So you mix those two colors together and it's a pink. But probably not if we're going to have the character be female. It would work better, actually, if the character was male and they were pink. But, you know, too much overlap with Amy that way. Racist? Did I say racist? I meant sexist or maybe some, I don't know. Whatever. You know what I mean. I meant sexist, not racist. Having the girl be pink, like Amy is the girl that's pink. A Freudian slip? I mean, that's not a Freudian slip. Freudian slips are about having sex, right? Explain how Sonic characters conceive in detail. You'd probably figure it out. It's not sexist, to be honest. I mean, I don't think so either, but it also is just like, we already have a pink girl character out of Amy, so to do another one seems a bit redundant. I mean, I guess the color doesn't really matter that much. Make the Echidna girl have two-tone pattern fur. You know what you could do? Because Rouge is white, and Knuckles has that white crescent on him, and we see the ancient Echidnas have, like, other white on their, like, arms and on their dreads and stuff. So you could have her, maybe she is, like, purple's not a bad suggestion, actually, because Rouge has purple, and purple is, like, partially red. But she has, like, lots of those white sections on her arms or legs or on her dreads. Not sexist, just kind of a trope. Yeah, but it's like a kind of shitty trope. You don't want to do it if you can avoid it, right? Although now, see, again, thing character overlap. If we have like a cool, badass female Sonic character that's purple, then that's overlap with Blaze. They've already used all the goddamn colors. Just make her white. We barely have any white characters. But we have Silver in this story. Invent a new color, done. Yeah, there you go. You was thinking she could have red and white stripes? Well, I think the stripes, like the details would probably just be white, because that's how it is on all the other Echidna characters. I guess you could probably make many different colors work for the character, because it doesn't really matter that much. They haven't used teal yet? Have they not? I guess if you count the comics, what's his face? Kit's sidekick, Surge? Or no, Kit is the sidekick. Surge's sidekick, Kit, is kind of teal. Would the history be lost to time in the Crescent? Yeah, I mean, Knuckles barely knows anything about his heritage, so I'm gonna assume that this character knows literally nothing. She doesn't know about... Because, like, to her being the last Echidna is not a crazy unique thing. Because probably a lot of characters think they might be the last of their species at this point, you know? Because the population is so diminished. Give the Echidna girl the OVA hat? No. Fuck no. Her color and everything should all depend on her personality, not the other way around. Very true, Iger J. Very true. You know what I just thought of? If she's gonna be the techie person, what we could do that might be pretty fun is she can still be like a boxing influenced character, but maybe she's not super strong like Knuckles is, so maybe she has like, you know, mechanical equipment like gloves or gauntlets or something. Or maybe even just, like, metallic, kind of like brass knuckles or something that she uses to enhance her strength to, like, emulate Knuckles, but using technology to help her out. That would be pretty badass. Also, I'm personally a big fan of Punch Girls, for anyone that follows Woolly Versus. Shadow could tell her about the origin of her chaos powers? Yeah, potentially. What is people's kink with that hat? I don't know, they love that hat. The hat has more significance to Knuckles than treasure hunting, it must exist. It is somehow more prevalent than one of Knuckles' kind of major character traits. It's weird. Is Shadow's goal to restore life to the apocalyptic wasteland? Yes. Written up in this concept section. You love characters with huge robo-gauntlets? Yeah, exactly. Sorry, baby, but the OVA Knuckles hat stays on during sex. Okay. Give her jetpack, normal Knuckles flying and boosting with the jetpack. Think about it. I mean, Knuckles gliding is done with his dreads. If she has dreads, she should be able to glide like Knuckles. Okay, I'm really liking the idea of her having, like, tech gloves, though. Because, yeah, she could have those spikes on it, but they're, like, actual drills or something that she uses those to climb. I like this idea of she uses tech to, like, recreate Knuckles' way of doing things. Okay, what the fuck is going on with the Knux dreads and gliding stuff exactly? Okay. The idea behind Knuckles gliding and why he can do it is that his dreads spread out and it acts like, you know, like a kite or something, that it has a lot of surface area and that would catch air and slow his descent. Which makes no fucking sense, but whatever, it's a cartoon video game. That was the idea. And then they forgot that, and they don't make his dreads flare out when he glides in, like, Sonic Frontiers or Sonic Dream Team or Sonic 06 even. So now it's just like he can do that for no reason. Add no OVA to the rules? Okay. I mean, it's already in here. May only reference SA1, SA2, Hero Shadow, and 06. There you go. Yeah, I'm feeling that energy, Jack. The question is she the techie character or not? I feel like it's either going to be her or the human. Either this Knuckles descendant or Alice is going to be our tech character that maybe is apprenticed by Eggman a little bit. Maybe. Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea. The Pillar Armado. Alice could make the gloves for her. Yeah, we could have that. You think Alice has more potential as the scientist character, as the builder? Plus, it kind of builds off of, you know, Eggman, humans kind of being the technologically inclined ones. You say, Alice, how relevant is the Knuckles Rouge character even going to be? Well, they're going to be our touchstone for finding the Master Emerald, I think, because as a Knuckles descendant, they'll be able to, like, detect the Master Emerald pieces, which will then lead us to fighting the Horsemen, getting the Emerald pieces, restoring the Master Emerald, which can then restore the Chaos Emeralds to fix the world. So they will be important. I'm thinking they're, like, a main party member. I also feel like, just based on how the concept of this is going, the struggle of reading Spanish names, yes, I don't know shit of Spanish. I feel like with the way this world is and how everything's fucked, like the fucking space colony arc has crashed on the Earth, I feel like Angel Island should also be crashed, right? Like, it's not floating in the sky. It's fucking long gone at this point. Can we have a Rhino Beetle character since they're the best animal ever? The thing is, with the way the Sonic art style works, they wouldn't look cool if we had something like that, you know? They would look like a generic fucking Sonic character with a horn on their head that would not invoke a Rhino Beetle as much as you would want. Maybe have it sunk below the depths of the ocean. We could do that, potentially. I mean, I feel like it's just gone. Like, it's just probably not going to be a part of the story, one way or the other. It's just gone. Wouldn't the space colony arc falling on a planet destroy it? No. The specifics of it in SA2 is it's because of the Chaos Emeralds. So without the Chaos Emeralds, it would just be a really big asteroid that would fuck up the planet really badly, which is perfect for what we're going for. Should we do it like the Onyx Island idea from Rivals? The thing is, we don't know anything about what Onyx Island is like in its normal time. I mean, I guess we could just call it Onyx Island if we're even going there, which probably not, I would think. Because what's the relevance of that to the story? In case of the Ruckles being a main party member, I still say Alice. Only because she's human and Ruckles is a cartoon echidna that can apparently say fuck you to physics, so more so than usual. I mean, they can both be party members. That'd be fine. You'd like to draw your interpretation of these characters? Go for it. Send them to me on my email, and I'll probably show them off on the next stream where we work on this some more. We need to name this echidna character? Well, we need to nail down the specifics of their character and personality, and then a name usually emerges from that, because Sonic.
Trust me, son. You don't really want it. You step up, you will get beat down. Check. I'm strong.
It just makes more sense for it to be more Alice's thing. You mean like the mechanic stuff? I mean, I'm fine with that. Yeah, because that would give Alice a unique thing. Because if the Rouge Knuckles descendant character is going to be leading us to the Master Emerald pieces, then yeah, being the mechanic would give Alice a function. Hey, Master Disaster, what's new since last stream? A couple of things. I'll be going around. I don't want to keep repeating myself over and over. Wrench the Echidna? I don't know. It doesn't speak to me hugely. Maybe the Nuxuge character is extremely energetic and impulsive. That seems like a good direction for the character to me. Why is Rouge named Rouge? Rouge is like French or something for red. So I assume Knuckles red. She's Knuckles' rival. That's it. Nails the Echidna? Nah. I see what you're going for there with Rouge's old name, but nah. Oh yeah, that'd be cool, Bravia. Give them, yeah, goggles and some equipment and stuff that they carry. That'd be pretty cool. Rouge is also blush, like makeup, like an old-fashioned way to say, well, there you go. That makes sense. Ah, okay, now, yeah. That fits very well, yes. Well, Jack, I think we're leaning towards Alice being the techie character, not this descendant character. I'm thinking this character should definitely be like a very hardcore scavenger. Like, each of the characters should probably have a role, you know, within this society of how they contribute to keeping people alive, right? Like, Silver would probably be like one of the soldiers that keeps monsters away from their settlement. And we have Alice, she's a mechanic. You know, you'd have people that farm or whatever. We also need people to scavenge to find materials and useful things. So I'm thinking, kind of as a way to build off of the Knuckles being a treasure hunter, we can have her be a scavenger. Where she doesn't look for treasure, she just looks for anything that would be useful in this world. You know, computer parts or gear or anything like that. And she's very, like, overzealous about how she goes about things. Like, maybe normally they have rules about going out in groups, but maybe she's just like, no, I'll be fine, I can go out on my own. She, like, sneaks out and, like, goes, like, further out than others normally would, and they don't like her doing that, you know? She puts herself in danger because she's so, like, out to go do these things. You thought Ascendant was a boy now? No, we've been pretty much riffing entirely on them being a girl. Yeah, exactly, Nemo. Exactly. She's desperate to prove herself. It depends what we want to do. Like, she could just be an extremely energetic character that doesn't really worry too much about the consequences and just is overconfident in herself, and maybe she gets into trouble, and our characters have to save her, and that's how she ends up in the party. Something like that. Scraps the Echidna, you know, it's a dumb name. Honestly, I think that's the best thing we've seen so far, Scraps the Echidna. I mean, it is dumb if she's gonna be a scavenger. But it's on a good track, I think. Alice and the Ascendant could have a strong bond because of that? Yeah, exactly. This character gets the materials, and then Alice uses it to build machinery, and that could even play in the gameplay, where you're, you know, looking for materials, collectibles that you use to craft your upgrades or whatever. You like Scraps? Yeah, it's actually not bad. It's kind of cool. Or maybe just Scrap. Scrap the Echidna? You think we can lean into Scraps being more rebellious? Yeah, potentially. It also kind of works because, you know, a scrap is also a term for, like, a fight. And if we're gonna have, oh, plural like Knuckles. That's a good point, Canal Zenny. That's a good point. Okay. For now, we'll go with Scraps. Scraps the Echidna. How the fuck do you spell descendant? There you go. Descendant of Knuckles and Rouge. Scavenger. That is a bit overzealous. And eager. Gets herself into trouble frequently. Something like that as a starting point for this character. Oh yeah, we'll say knows nothing of her Echidna Master Emerald power stuff. Ship it, make it canon. We got something now. Now, like her father, how do you pronounce her name in plural? Or possessively, Scraps' stuff. Would she be an Echidna or like a hybrid of animals? In my head, if Sonic characters crossbreed, it's like genes. You're either one or the other. You could be the father's species or the mother's species, and it's just random genetic choice, is what I imagine happens. And we could just say that an Echidna is a very dominant gene, so it sticks around. Can you send me a mail with a pitch for the Four Horsemen? I mean, sure. You can also do it right here. I might miss it. Sorry, but whatever. Are we inadvertently creating new Rule 34 right now, and at what cost? If we are, I'm okay with that. Look, as a creator, you just need to accept that people are going to make porn of your work. It's gonna happen. Deal with it. Like the Gerudo, always dominant gene? Exactly. It happens to inanimate objects, so nothing is exempt. Yeah, people are like freaking out. What did I say? Did I say something? I wasn't paying attention to what I was talking about. What did I say? Why is everyone freaking out? I'm good? Okay. You're just goofing? Okay, then. Can you make Rule 34 out of me? I can't stop you. If you want to, you will. I mentioned Rule 34 and people went cuckoo. I mean, it's, whatever, man. It's a thing. Porn exists. Will Shadow be voiced by Keanu in my story? He's voiced by Shadow's Japanese voice actor that I forget his name. How the fuck do you make Rule 34 out of a fucking mask? You underestimate people, Laura. Koji Yusa, yes, that's his name. That's true, Ride. If Sonic characters crossbreed would result in a crossbreed, we would see that a lot, but we don't. You got a design going for the Horseman of Death right now? Okay, cool. Send it to me, the Ove, when you got it done. We made our own Rule 34. What have we done? Like I said, it's just gonna happen. Accept it. Y'all are, like, sweet little innocent babes who don't know nothing about the internet, apparently. It is a filthy place for degenerates. This is what happens when you encourage shipping too much. I mean, this is just what happens when you create a fictional character. When you do that, that's it. Yo, this is like the best song in Anarchy Reigns. This music is so good. Yeah, Rainwar, we're right there with you. Maybe I'm just too desensitized because I've been on the internet for a long-ass time. Yeah, exactly. I'm already at the acceptance stage of internet trauma. I guess I forget that a lot of you are pretty young, right? You're all like 1 year old or something. You're all typing in your cribs right now. Are we still going with the RPG party mechanic? Yeah, I think so. In fact, I want to solidify, we're definitely going to have multiple playable characters, right? Because I just think it's a very, like, 2000s era Sonic thing to do. So having a party, and you can swap between characters, that makes sense. So yeah. And definitely I'm thinking Scraps would be a playable character. Oh, I cover content that's catered to young audiences, so it's surprised I cultivate tadpoles. Yeah, but I swear all the time in my shit, and kids shouldn't be watching that. You can't make a YouTube account unless you're 13 years old, after all. Will it be a turn-based RPG? Nah, I imagine it as an action RPG. Kind of like, what are those games? Like the Tales of games, kind of, but with a little more, like, action platformer-y kind of stuff, where you have multiple party members, and they can be just AIs that help you, or you can switch to who you're playing as. Everybody lies about that. That was the joke, Laura! Nobody would lie about their age on the internet? Exactly. Whenever you go on Steam and there's a game and it asks you for your age, and I say I was born in 1955. That's absolutely true. The skit system would be perfect for a Sonic game? I don't know what that is. What if it's an FPS shadow game? No. What was the world like back in ancient times? It was horrible. There was no internet. It was very boring. Whatever, Polo AP. We don't need that level of specifics of what the game is gonna be because it's not a game that you can play. So for playable characters, we have Shadow, Alice, Silver, Omega, Eggman, and Scraps. What will their roles be? You mean like in gameplay? I have no fucking clue. How do those Tails games work? They have like 7 playable characters. Pierce Blunt slash system? I don't know. That's like a level of specifics that we don't need to get into. We're just telling a story here. Like DPS, range, things like that. Well, I'm definitely thinking Alice would be range, because she's like a normal human, so she's using like guns or whatever. Or Omega also, because he's got all of his guns and weapons and shit. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea, Laura. Don't get hyper-specific about gameplay stuff. Because we just don't need to do that. We just need a vague idea of what the gameplay would be like to give us, you know, story context. Will Metal Sonic be playable? I'm gonna probably say no. He's kind of, with the ideas of where we've gotten him, he's kind of in a villain position, right? Do we have a main villain yet? At this point, the main villain that we're going for is this 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse stand-in characters that are like some kind of monster demon thing that Eggman used to take over the world. Will there be swearing? Yes. There's swearing in most Sonic games in Japanese. Metal Sonic could join near the end after we conclude whatever conflict we have with him? I don't know. I kind of feel like he should be destroyed. Maybe as an unlockable character after a point in the story? I was thinking that, but like, what should Metal Sonic's ultimate fate be? Because I feel like he needs to be stopped. And I feel like the only way to stop Metal Sonic adequately would be to destroy him. Themes. While the world sucks, you should just continue to live and do whatever in your power to make your life better. Stop believing in miracles. Just continue living in the present. That's actually a really good choice, Just a Boy. That fits very well with what we're going for here. Although in a way, that's kind of like Silver's theme in Sonic 06. Trying to go back in time to fix the present and then realizing you can't go back, you just have to deal with the hand you're dealt. That's kind of what they were doing there a little bit. That's true. Now, yeah, we could just rebuild Metal Sonic or what have you. Metal dies, Omega lives. Omega truly is the greatest Eggman robot. We could have Omega be the one that destroys Metal as like a demonstration of his power. That Metal is just like Sonic, so Omega destroys Metal. Although we were talking about that possibly being how Eggman sacrifices himself, which I kind of like that idea. Aren't we pretending Sonic 06 doesn't exist? This is the that-if environmentalism story? Yeah, but that's just part of Sonic's identity. You always have to have environmental themes in Sonic, ideally. And we can pretend it doesn't exist, like, canon-wise, but that story did happen. So you don't want to step on that toes too much. You want to do something different. Omega is canonically stronger than Metal. Take this, you will. Whatever. Will Alice remind Shadow Maria? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think something like that, Azalan, is the right way to handle Metal Sonic. How redeemable is he in this story to begin with? Well, he's trying to do the right thing. He's just getting it all wrong. We could go in a direction of he learns the right way, but, you know, we're already redeeming Eggman here. We're having Omega have a character arc of learning to get over his deal. I feel like having Metal just suffer a tragic fate, as just have him be a tragic character that deals with this identity crisis his whole life, then he finally gets what he wants, and he kind of fucks up with it, and then he just dies. I kind of like that as just a tragic story for that character. I feel like Metal should be a tragic character. Yeah, you can go redemption route or corruption, self-destruction. Yeah, and I feel like that's more appropriate for Metal Sonic. Does Shadow even remember Maria in the story? I don't know. It's never even clear if he regains his memories in Shadow the Hedgehog. We're not really going to touch on that too much, I don't think. No, Gradfalloon, no, we're not doing that. Sonic is inspiring, Metal is a cautionary tale. Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, exactly, Iger J, exactly. I like Metal being a tragic character, so I'm gonna say Metal is not playable. Metal gets destroyed in this story. I guess you could think of it as a mercy kill in a way, putting him out of his misery. If Eggman has to sacrifice himself to destroy Metal Sonic, if we're going with that, that could actually be a way that we could kind of give Metal peace. Eggman could realize what he's done to Metal Sonic by creating him the way that he has and allowing Metal Sonic to persist in the way that he has for so long. And it could be like we have to stop Metal Sonic, but also a like, I'm putting you down, taking you out of your misery kind of thing for Eggman, for Metal. That, I kind of like. So you think Shadow's a hero or anti-hero in this? He's definitely a hero. A DLC content with playable Metal as his own separate optional story? I mean, we could do that, potentially. Where's Sage in all of this? Eggman formatted the hard drive she was on, so she no longer exists. It'd be the opposite of what happens with Omega then? Yeah, kind of like that. Crimson Zone. I don't know where people got that from. I don't know. I heard that from somewhere. I haven't seen that from, like, a verified source. But regardless, I'm just gonna ignore that if that's actually a thing. Why do y'all love Sage so much? Because Frontiers is peak, man. Or something. So yeah, I like that with Metal. So he's not gonna be a friend. He will die. I've decided. I'll put it in the thing. Must be destroyed eventually. Probably by Eggman. Yeah, there you go. Why do I hate Sage? Because she's a stupid character with a bad story. That's the funniest death for Sage. Formatting the hard drive. CMJ, you might be in the wrong place for that. I don't give a flying fuck about the Sonic movies. Her relationship with Eggman is too forced, basically? Yes. I mean, the story in Frontiers is just not good. The idea of a sentient Eggman AI is kind of cool. Yeah, that's what Metal Sonic is for. It was a way more interesting character and has way more potential. What's Silver's role in his survivor group? Alice's tech girl, Scraps' scavenger. Silver could be the leader, or I think he could just be like the main soldier that just protects it from the monsters and stuff. It depends. Do we want to have a leader character? This is a potential other character we can introduce. Do we want to have like a human leader of the survivor group? Should Silver be the leader? Should he? I feel like Silver is not really a leader type character. So we should probably have a leader character, and I feel like they should probably be human, right? Gun Commander Descendant? No. How about a descendant of the Secretary from Sonic Adventure 2? Perfect. Silver would clash big time with others if he was the leader. Yeah, I feel like Silver doesn't have the leadership chops in him. A human leader would be cool? Yeah, I think so. Having humans a little more involved in the story, I like the idea of. Once Shadow's in the picture, he's the leader? I don't necessarily think so. I imagine Shadow is like an independent agent that is working with this group and like starting to integrate with them, but is mostly doing his own thing and forming his own little band of people that help him as individuals. I feel like later on in the story, if ever, would get like the whole Survivor organization working towards what we're doing. Or something. Make Alice the leader? Well, Alice is young. She's only like 18. So if we're getting humans involved here, we should probably have some old fuck be the leader, right? What if the leader is that fucking ugly-ass little girl from Sonic Adventure 2's pre-rendered cutscenes with the pigtails, and she's really old? Still has the same face. Yeah, still has the same face, same pigtails. But now it's an old fucking ancient-ass lady. Now, how is she alive when she would be like 200-something years old? Whatever. I mean, obviously, I'm just memeing here. Yeah, there you go, Laura. She's 200 years old, but she looks the same. Perfect. "200-year-old pre-rendered lady." Big the cat is the leader. He's a cat, so he has 9 lives. A different lifetime. He's a wise cat now. I feel like we should do some big something here, right? As like a fun Easter egg that you can find in the background, like SA2. But it can't be Big himself. It's gotta be something else. Small the kitten. Big skeleton. Big's gravestone. Damn, this is dark. Shadow Man should be the leader. Froggy is immortal. It could be Big, just sat, he time traveled. Honestly, Ride, I kind of like that idea. Big somehow time traveled into the future, and he's just fishing still. That's actually perfect. That's such a big thing. How is Big still here? Whatever. Somehow, 'cause Big the cat. Add that to the notes. Okay, we're adding another meme character. Big the Cat has somehow time traveled into the future and hangs out in the background, like in SA2. There we go. It carries the running gag of Big being in places he shouldn't. Exactly, Bravia. It's the most how the heck did Big get here? How is he 200 years in the future? You're begging me, each act of the story introduces one of the 5 stages of grief? I don't even know the 5 stages of grief. I'd have to look into that. Mutant Froggy? Oh, Mutant Froggy is not a bad... We could incorporate Big into the actual story, then. We could have, like, one of the Chaos Emerald big boss monsters is Froggy, and we turn him back to normal and give him to Big. Give Big a super long beard. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I mean, it depends. What's the grief for? You just got in here. Alice, do we give Shadow girlfriend? No, it's like a human female character that, not connect in that way. Just like, you know, emotionally bond. The grief for the world and the people we lost. Well, at this point, these people would have been born and raised in that world, so it would be pretty status quo for them. And Shadow isn't the type of character, I don't think, to be overcome with grief. Is Alice still a tomboy? Yeah, I think so. I guess I'll write that in. Tomboy... Oh yeah, we were saying she's gonna be a techie character, right? Mechanic slash engineer. You're drawing Alice and she's getting headphones? Sure, whatever. We're not exactly sure yet, Azalon. I'm sorry for the pronunciation of your name. We're working out exactly what Alice's role and her connection with Shadow is going to be. Tomboy mechanic, oh god, sign me up. Yeah, right. Did anybody watch the anime Arpeggio of Blue Steel? I quite liked that anime. It was surprisingly good for, like, being schlock. And that had a really cool tomboy engineer character. Is Alice like Princess Daisy in attitude? I mean, it's hard to say because Princess Daisy's not that much of a character. What's the percentage chance of someone sending me porn, do I think? I don't know. With enough time, 100%. Eventually. Nice carved orb, I like that. Hi, I'm Alice! That's funny. Daisy is hardly a character? I mean, every Mario character is hardly a character. Yeah, Bravia. Someone suggested that we name her Alice because Maria's design is seemingly inspired by Alice from Alice in Wonderland. So with this character, we're trying to invoke Maria a little bit. So Alice as her name. I like that. I think that's pretty good. Except your goat Luigi? Yeah, Luigi and Wario are like the only Mario characters that are anything close to real characters. Can I post the results from today like last time? Yeah, I probably will in the lead up to the next stream for it. Mario's personality is just that he loves jumping. Yeah, pretty much. What about Birdo? I mean, Birdo's not a character unless we're talking like original Mario 2 stuff. In which case, that's very, problematic. Have they ever, like, addressed that in recent stuff? Like, did they just delete that? Is Birdo still trans? I assume they just ignore that completely, right? They just don't want to touch that. Does Blaze exist in this future since Silver is here? No. Because that shit is stupid. Alice sounds kind of close to Elise. You're right, but whatever. Wasn't that a mistranslation? I don't know. I'm not too familiar with that situation. Ride. I'm not really feeling that. That doesn't feel very Shadow to me. Sure, that's an explanation now, yeah, of why we're not doing that. Yeah, we're still here, Demetrius. Probably not going to go for that much longer. Maybe just like another half hour or 40 minutes or something. Volkun is required to make an appearance? He's not. Not at all. How am I? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Enerbeam should be involved. We have the rule. Don't get hyper specific about gameplay stuff, because it don't matter. God damn it, now that people have pointed out that Elise thing, it makes me not want to call her Alice anymore. But it's a good name, it works. Shit. Enerbeam is a story thing, actually? No, it's not. Rise of Lyric doesn't have a story. Alice is great, keep it. Yeah, no, we're keeping it. It's locked in at this point. Deal with it. Alice is a cute name. Don't agree with the tomboy thing. Not very Alice-esque. I mean, it was just the name. We're not going to make the character like Alice. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about the leader of the human survivor group. Oh yeah, we'll be a human probably. I think that makes the most sense. I guess this character's not super important. Just what their role in the story would be. I guess it's just a question of do we want any, like, tension between them letting Shadow into the group or not, or whether or not they trust Shadow and he has to prove himself. We can make this leader character like a hard ass or something. Ooh, we can make the leader Alice's grandfather. Ooh, Chaklon. You had a good idea there. That's for, yeah, a parallel for Gerald and Maria. Yes. I think that works pretty well. All right, that's going in. Alice's the grandfather, leader of the survivor group. This time he's the gun commander's descendant? I don't think he has to be related to gun commander. He can just be some fucking asshole. Could be overprotective and overbearing while Alice wants to do her thing. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, I kind of like that. All right. does not want her tagging along with Shadow. There you go. Because Shadow's up to some dangerous shit, man. Is Eggman part of the survivors? I'm thinking that Eggman is, like, independent and then starts working with Shadow and by extension starts working with the survivors. I think it makes sense at first, though, for Shadow to hide that Eggman is working with them because Eggman's responsible for all this, so there could be emotional tension there of when it's found out that Eggman, he fucked everything up. But no, he's trying to fix things. You know, we could do stuff with that. What's the name of the song? This is from the Anarchy Reigns soundtrack. It is called Find You. Anarchy Reigns OST, super good, highly recommended. Should Shadow Androids still be around? Nope, got that. No Shadow Androids. I just feel like there's no good reason to bring him back. What's happening with Silver? That's a good question. Perhaps, if we're going with the overprotective grandfather, perhaps he assigns Silver as, like, their strongest soldier to protect Alice. So when she's going out with Shadow, like, I'm imagining she wants to go with Shadow to help him. So she's, like, sneaking out to go along with him, and then Silver is, like, following her and tagging along. So you could have some conflict between, like, Silver not liking Shadow because he's putting Alice in danger. Something like that. Yeah, Max Time. I think that's a pretty good direction. Silver's the battle chaperone slash babysitter. Yeah. I mean, I think he's also, like, just their best soldier, but because he's their best soldier, he's like, go fucking look after Alice so she doesn't get fucking killed. And she's like, Grandpa, I'm fine. I can take care of myself. And he's like, no, you can't because you're a little girl and I have trauma because my wife or daughter or whatever died in my tragic backstory of something happening. Where there'll be a Metal Rouge? No. Silver looking after Alice like Sonic looked after Elise? I mean, sort of, I guess, but not really. Where's the Pariah OC self-insert? I don't have one. I'm focusing on trying to tell a good story here. Bit generic, no? What do you think is generic, Neo? I mean, there's definitely some generic stuff in here. Apparently this story is a huge ripoff of Mega Man Zero. Is this a story that would appear in the games or the comics? I'm imagining this as a game. My self-insert is Shadow Man? There you go. Perfect. No, Iger J. Shadow and Silver don't know each other. This would be like after 06, and we're just deleting all that dumb shit about Silver constantly coming back to the present. This is just Silver's future that he lives in now.
Machine versus humanity. Clutch my sanity. This is man versus the animal of anarchy. The birth defects are now spotted like astronomy.
To be fair, Mega Man Zero is a good story. Hey, if I'm inadvertently ripping it off, that just means that, I'm writing a good story here, apparently. If people like the story of Mega Man Zero. I actually have done this before in the past, like independently coming up with something that's like basically a copy of something else. I was working on a story idea for someone trapped in a time loop, and as all the ideas I was coming up with, and it was solidifying, I was like, oh yeah, this is really good. And then I learned that I was just ripping off Groundhog Day, and I didn't even know it. And it's like, god damn it, someone already did it. Fuck. Plagiarism is a serious form of flattery. It's not even plagiarism because I haven't played Mega Man Zero. I don't know the story. Groundhog Day is a really good movie. It is. It's very easy to do that in this day and age. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many stories that have been written that coming up with something new is extremely difficult. Have I played The Forgotten City? I have not, but I've heard it's very good. If I don't know about it and I imitate it inadvertently, it isn't a ripoff? No, it's not. It's just I happen to make the same thing. Of course, I like Groundhog Day. It was exactly as I envisioned it. Well, it was different than my own idea, but I do like time loop stories. I'm a big fan of those just in general. Do I have any particular vision for the original characters' looks, design-wise? I mean, we were trying to nail down some details about Scraps, but we weren't really, I mean, I imagine her wearing a lot of, like, you know, typical post-apocalyptic gear, a lot of black, gray, brown, kind of rough clothing. Like I said, she should have some gear that she carries around for scavenging. And like I said, having, like, the white marks all over her dreads and arms and shit. Did Silver lose his ability to time travel? We're just not gonna... In 06, you can only do that because of Chaos Emeralds, and we're just gonna ignore all that other crap because it's dumb. Other scavenger side characters? I don't think we need to go that much into, like, side characters. You know, there'll be a bunch of, like, NPCs around that you can talk to that have their own little things, theoretically, in the game. But we want to focus, I think, on, like, the main cast of characters that will be involved in the story. Yeah, I kind of like that idea, Bravia. I should write that about Silver in the rules. Well, it's already in there in that we can only reference 06, so we can't reference any of the other things when he comes back. Who killed Sonic? Sonic was killed by these 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that are going to be some kind of demon monster things that Eggman discovered and, you know, took control of. Before everything that he used to defeat Sonic and mortally wound Shadow. Something like that. Everyone's dripped out like Future Trunks. No. I mean, that style, I think, is just not really fitting for what we're trying to do. Sonic dead for good, Sega would never? Yeah, that's why we're doing it here, because this is a fan story for funsies. You think you should go for a Nomura style? I've never really played a Nomura game, so I don't really know his style. The brand deals, the soap shoes, whatever. You never say he's dead, it's just implied. Yeah, I don't think in the actual theoretical story here we would go into the super specifics of exactly what happened. Kind of like Logan, where they just kind of allude to some fucked up shit happened in the past. That kind of thing. New super form? Eh. Why? Chow Cola Caps is the new currency. Shadow and Silver fuse? Absolutely not. No fusing ever. Would we see the precursor to the apocalypse, or would the story just start when Alice wakes up Shadow? I feel like the strongest thing to do would be to just have Shadow wake up in the future, and we get things explained to us after the fact. We should be as clueless as Shadow. Well, I guess Shadow wouldn't be clueless. He would know what would be happening, but it'd be so jarring to come from his time to jump forward 200 years. So I would want to capture that. What does Dragon Ball do with Trunks? Basically, Silver's story in 06 is what they do with Trunks. You think fusion would be cool? Well, I don't, so no. Breath of the Wild style intro, open your eyes. Yeah. I'm imagining, okay, opening scene. It's all black, and it's like Shadow's first-person perspective, and his eyes are closed, and it's, we hear a voice. We hear Maria's voice, and it's, Shadow, you know, open your eyes. And, you know, Shadow starts to open them, and we just get, like, little glimpses, and we see Maria, but his eyes are, like, closing back, and then we hear Maria again, Shadow, wake up! Wake up, Shadow! And then eventually he opens his eyes all the way, but it's no longer Maria. Now it's Alice. How's that for an opening? You thought we weren't gonna have Maria? Not, like, actually in the story, no. It's gonna be a pre-rendered opening cutscene? I don't know. Maybe not. They could just open into gameplay cutscenes. That'd be fine. What happened to Omega? I imagine Omega's still been around. What has Omega been doing this whole time? I imagine Omega has just been doing his best to destroy as much as he possibly can. You know, take down Eggman's machinery, destroy his robots, hunt him down. But Eggman has taken over the world, so there's just too much for one robot to deal with. So Omega has basically just been going on an endless rampage for hundreds of years. For 200 years, that doesn't sound right. Why not? That kind of works with our theme of, like, Omega has been stuck in this one place forever, and then he finally manages to move on beyond that. Omega's after revenge for killing Rouge. I mean, it depends if we want Rouge to be killed by Eggman. She could also just die from old age, because it's 200 fucking years later. Pilar, I'm sorry about your name pronunciation. It depends. We could have Shadow's capsule be found somewhere indoors where she could take off her mask. That'd be possible. It could be in some, like, bunker or something that she finds. No way it takes Omega 200 years to take down Eggman's robots. I mean, Eggman has taken over the entire world. What can one person do against the whole world? Alice has a mask, living metal. We established the idea that Eggman has, like, fucked up the planet so bad that it's so horribly polluted that it's not safe to breathe outside, so people need to wear, like, you know, gas masks, kind of like sci-fi helmets or whatever. Oh, we got through the whole Anarchy Reign soundtrack. Okay, back to Shadow. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, to me that seems like a fine way to handle Omega. Sounds dystopian? Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Do the hedgehogs wear masks too? Well, Shadow is immune to disease, so I'm gonna say he can just breathe, because whatever. Silver, I guess you could say that with Psycho Power he can be okay. You can bullshit that if you want. We could also just bullshit and say, only humans need masks, because reasons. Shut up, don't think about it? Exactly. We're truly trying to channel Sonic Team writing here. So, you know, looking at everything we have here, I feel pretty comfortable with these high-level concepts about what's happening, who are our players, what's going on in this world, what do we need to do, what is our objective, how are we going to achieve it, what are the major things that we're going to have to deal with. Now we have to start to get to the difficult stuff, and it's already been difficult up to this point, but now we need the difficult stuff. the specific things, the major themes, Shadow's character arc, potentially character arcs for other characters as well if we can fit more in, and where this is all ultimately going towards like a big final ending. I mean, obviously we go to like a Super Shadow final boss against the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. But how do we get there, and what's our ultimate payoff there, you know, story-wise and character-wise and thematically and all this shit. This is where we get to the hard part. Can we separate it all in the cutscenes? I feel like that would be something for later. After we get all the, like, major details hashed out, then maybe we can go into, like, the specifics of this cutscene, this happens, that cutscene, that happens. But we need these things first. Shadow could be a flat character. That is an option. We could make Shadow a flat character at this point. That can be okay. But Shadow has had character arcs in SA2, kind of technically Hero, sort of a little bit, and Shadow's game itself. Wait, so I say shut up, don't think about it, but I'm against Shadow riding a motorcycle? That's right, Neo Arcadia, because that's how sloppy, shitty, lazy writing works. You justify what you want with bullshit and then ignore things you don't want with even more bullshit. Character arcs are the easy part. I mean, it depends, because we gotta establish character conflicts that we then turn into character arcs that we need to integrate into the story and ideally have them weaving together and with the main plot all at the same time. Doing good character arcs can be difficult. Can make Shadow a metaphoric character like Sonic. The only thing about that I'm kind of hesitant about is that Shadow has been a literal character with arcs throughout his own games. Yeah, gun is long gone, Leo. Character arcs are easy until you have more than one. Yeah, having multiple at once definitely makes things more complicated. Out of your vector. I understand you, but generally I find when developing a story, a theme can emerge naturally that you can then build out of, rather than coming up with a theme beginning and then building the story around it. I usually find it's better to do it this way. It's just my writing style, I suppose. What kind of insecurity or lie does Shadow hold on to post-Heroes? Well, it'll be post-Shadow the Hedgehog is mainly what we're going off with. See, the thing that I was thinking for a potential Shadow character arc is that after Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow throws away his past and decides to go his own way. So then what is his own way, and more importantly, why? If we go with 06's idea of he joins Gun, then the question becomes why? Why is Shadow doing what he's doing? And I was thinking of a potential idea where Shadow kinda just is going with the flow of things and not really taking his destiny into his own hands. Like, he joined Gun because Bruges is part of Gun and he has a connection with her, so it's kind of an obvious thing to do, to just continue on with. But maybe we have a confrontation of Shadow with himself about what does he actually want? What does he want to do with his life? What does he feel is important? What does he care about? That's kind of a Shadow character arc that I thought would be a good thing to do after Shadow the Hedgehog. Like, now you have the freedom to choose for yourself. How do you choose? And what do you choose? And why do you choose it? You felt the general invited Shadow, is that never explained? It's never addressed why or when or whatever. People talk about the Expert mode in Shadow the Hedgehog. There's nothing that alludes that that's him joining Gun. It's just one of those 06 kind of being a soft reboot things. They just did it. Yeah, kind of Enerjack. Like, he kind of just fell into Gun, sort of, but now that's gone and everything is gone, so where does Shadow go? What is his direction now? Is kind of the idea I'm thinking. Yeah, Akono, you're on the right track there. No way to Dawn. That the commander never says anything that specific. No max time. All it says in the expert mode of Shadow is that he is training. That's it. Which you could easily justify Shadow just training independently to get stronger. That's perfectly in character with him. None of the dialogue in expert mode explicitly implies he is training to join Gut. That's just an artificial connection that people make because they like the idea of it. Oh yeah, Triple C, I showed off your art earlier. Some cool stuff. Can Shadow still use Chaos Control without an Emerald? It's not too relevant to what we're doing here, because that would be more gameplay stuff, if anything. So the question is, what type of person would he become in the end? Yeah, I feel like the main direction for this story is we're asking Shadow the question of what now? What do you want to do? No one's gonna force a direction on him, so what? What do I think Shadow wants? Well, that is the question we're trying to solve here. What does Shadow want? As the writers, we get to decide that. The only thing I can think that could actually work pretty well, because, like, okay, restore the world, save the day, whatever, yeah, sure, but that's just, you know, Shadow doing what he thinks is right. But what about himself personally as a person? So here's what I'm thinking. The one thing that we can glom onto with Shadow's character that's been kind of there throughout all of the games is that Shadow has a difficult time connecting with people. He doesn't refer to other people by their names. And generally, he is very distant, doesn't talk very much. He's very guarded with how he talks to other people. So we could go in a direction of Shadow, you know, finding community in this group of survivors and coming to care about these people. And that is kind of what he wants. He wants to be part of this group and feel connection with them. You know, feel like he has a family, basically, something he hasn't had since Maria long ago, if that's even a thing for him anymore. You know, the only connections he's had, really, has been Rouge and Omega since then, and Rouge is gone, so all he has is Omega, and that kind of gives us something. That's kind of the only thing I can think of would be a natural good way to build off of it. Didn't they kind of go through that arc with Team Dark in Heroes in 06? Yeah, but that was more so just them working together and becoming a team, which was more out of happenstance due to Shadow wanting to get his memories. It was a functional choice. Whereas this is more about, you know, human connection. Shadow trying to get that. Pretty late, Triple C. We're probably going to be ending the stream pretty soon. Imagine trying to connect with Omega on emotional level. Exactly! It's difficult. Especially for someone like Shadow. I think it would be very difficult for him to connect with people emotionally, this is where Alice could come in very well into the story, as like Shadow's bridge to connecting with people and connecting with others. You know, I'm thinking of not just, like, Shadow working with other people, not just Shadow getting along with other characters. I'm thinking of things where, like, Shadow goes out of his way to do something nice for someone else. Where Shadow is being empathetic to someone else and how they feel about something, you know? Stuff that we've never really seen Shadow do before. This whole game would be the perfect series finale to the whole Sonic series. I mean, it'd be weird because fucking Sonic is dead. So basically just trying to make him revert to being sympathetic like with Maria? Yeah, kind of. Like, allowing him to connect with people like he did with Maria again. Yeah, CMJ, something like that, where he doesn't know what he wants, those kinds of things. Yeah, like telling Scraps about her ancestors, exactly. Like, teaching her a little bit about herself and telling her about her great-great-grandparents or whatever. And, you know, Shadow, like, reminiscing about his times with Rouge and Omega and Sonic and, you know, exposing himself a little bit, lowering his guard and being open with other people. I think that would be a good arc for Shadow to get. Shadow finally opens his heart. Exactly. But Shadow's too cool and badass to have connections. Connecting with other people does not make you not cool or badass. It makes you an emotionally healthy person. So what is the imminent threat to this future? It's more so just that the future itself is fucked up. That would make Shadow less cool? I don't think that would make Shadow less cool. I think having a character with a, you know, rough exterior, but you get to see a little bit of what's inside, that is a nice thing. It gives them some more layers, makes them feel like more of a real person. That challenges your Sigma male grind set. I've seen people talk about a Sigma male. I have no idea what the hell that even is. How dare somebody not be an emotional stone for the sake of cool? That's exactly it, Laura. Like, kind of deconstructing that a little bit and finally letting Shadow be something other than an emotionless stone. Even though he's back on the good side, he's still very distant and not emotional. So I don't know fucking shit about Naruto after the first little bit of it, so I don't know where the hell Sasuke ends up. But if the ultimate life form needs other life forms, he's not the ultimate. That exactly is a terrible message for a story. It would be much better to, you know... It's a much better message, a much better theme to say, no matter how cool you are, or how badass, or whatever, you need other people. Everybody needs other people. Sigma male means a guy laser focused on stereotypical manly things. It's a meme. Okay. The anti-Sigma game? I don't know these terms. I'm just trying to come up with good character arcs. You're not cool if you aren't a lone wolf? Being a lone wolf is a horrible thing. It came from TikTok? Well, that explains it. I don't use no fucking TikTok. Is this just the ending of Naruto? I don't know how Naruto ends. Am I saying I'm an alpha male? I don't know what that is. All these fucking terms, I don't know what any of them mean. I'm just me. Learning Gen Z terms with Pariah. Yeah, that's what this is now. So I'm a beta? I don't know what that is either. You would really hate if Shadow opened up, to be honest. He'd look like a beta male. What the fuck is this? These words put together in this string, I hate it. Can we just talk like people? What is this fucking shit? Pariah is old, rip. I am old man. This is a curse, that's what it is? Close the stream, it's beginning to generate. No cap on God. What does that mean? What are you saying to me? Aren't I gonna be 696 years old this year? No, I'm 695 years old all the time. How to go? Do we have a perfect react structure? We're just starting to get to, like, the actual plot now, Subsonic Sparkle. Sort of. We're working on, like, character arcs and themes and shit. I guess I gotta make a whole new section for that, don't I? Hold on. Let me see. Do I have the thing for this? Where's the thing? Where did I put that? I don't remember where that was. I'll do it later. Character arcs. Shadow. There's just a bunch of nightmare words in the chat that I don't understand any of them. Does this have Omegaverse? What? I saw that in a thing recently. I'm like, what the fuck is an Omegaverse? What is that? You kids, get off my lawn. Capping is basically just lying about shit and pretending it's the truth. Isn't that just lying? Why are we inventing new words that mean the same thing as existing words? Alright, Shadow's character arc. He has to discover what he truly wants for himself. Which he eventually learns is to connect with others. Omega. We already got this one worked out. Learn to forgive. Look at that. We got some stuff going on here. Poor Shadow going to be uncool now? Yes, it's much better to be an emotionally distant, desensitized person that is not allowed to feel joy. Bullying Pariah for being old. Are we scrapping the idea of Omega betraying Shadow from last stream? We're gonna keep that idea, but we're gonna have that be a moment for Omega to have a character arc instead. I'd have to do some research into that, Bravia, but I mean, Sonic games generally do use typical 3-act structure. I mean, I'm not going like that crazy hard about it right now. Also, video game story structure is very weird and irregular a lot of the time anyway. What's Alice's arc gonna be? We gotta figure that out. I mean, not every character needs an arc. Some characters can be, you know, tools to facilitate other character arcs. Like Alice could help Shadow get his character arc. Oh yeah, even Eggman's getting a character arc here, right? Because he stops being selfish and sacrifices himself for others. Should Silver have an arc? If we could get one in there, that'd be great. Can we make the story about Shadow leaving the Tojo clan? Is that a Yakuza thing? Some characters don't even need an arc? Yeah, not everyone needs an arc. Don't want to go overboard with it. Maybe Alice's arc could be about accepting help from others? Well, we haven't really pinned down a lot of Alice's character traits yet. Eggman should self-destruct like Majin Vegeta? Yeah, something along those lines, kinda. Sadly, Silver needs an arc because he sucks. That's true. We do need to give Silver a character arc because he sucks, and we're gonna try to fix him. Alice gotta be spunky but naive. That's kind of what we're doing with Scraps as a character. Silver arc is to suck less. That's true. Like, his macro meta arc as a character that we know in the series of Sonic, that'll be his arc. He'll stop sucking. I feel like Alice should be more like a jaded teen. It depends. We have to nail down more details of what Alice is going to end up being, but I'm probably going to call this stream in a couple minutes. Please put no blaze as a rule. No blaze is already included in the rules, as you can only reference... Oh wait, 06 is in there. Oh no, but actually no blaze is a rule. I did put that. No blaze. There you go, right there. No blaze. Release the text doc, please. I'll, like I did with before, I'll put up a post of the new updated version of this. I'll probably clean this up and refine it like I did already last time. Alice as a cynical teen is a great reversal of Maria? Yeah, possibly. Maybe Silver could learn what it means to sacrifice? What does that even mean? Shadow's main weapon should be a massive gun. Well, since the weapons are now going to be like energy weapons powered by chaos drives, would Shadow even need guns? Because he would just use his own chaos powers. New Spice and Wolf just dropped, goated. You mean the anime? Did that finally come out? Silver could be about trusting more in yourself. Silver can be very insecure about why he's so easily tricked. I mean, are we even going to keep that as part of his character? Because that was only just so Mephiles could fool him. We might not have that. Because who's tricking him in this story? You ditch that? Yeah, I feel like we should ditch that. Silver learns to live in the moment and stop trying to change the past. I mean, that was basically his arc in 06. I'd prefer to do something new, ideally. Also, how are we... What is he trying to change the past? We're not having time travel in this story. I feel like we need to probably give this some time. So I think I might call the stream here. I feel like we've hit another wall. This has been another good session. We've got some good progress here. Come up with some good things that I'm liking. I look forward to eventually, hopefully, seeing some fan art of Scraps and maybe Alice a little bit. Part 3 for next time. I don't know if I'll do more of this next stream. I might do maybe next week. Maybe like once a week we'll do a playing game stream and then a writing stream for a bit. I don't know. Possibly. Because I do really like these writing streams. I think they're really, really fun. But, you know, want to have some variety, play some games as well. That's kind of what this channel is, right? We'll definitely do more of these, because these are very fun streams. Will I do more rewrites? Maybe? We'll see. We should start a fresh one again next stream. Well, I kind of want to keep working on this because I feel like we're really getting somewhere good. I feel like one more stream and we could really, like, lock this down into a good place. And then I do have an idea for another, like, fresh prompt that we can do for another Sonic story that would be fun. So we'll see. We will see. Might be streaming again tomorrow. I don't know what I'll play. We'll figure that out. We'll see. Oh yeah, I gotta bring up the thing. The thanks for watching screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. There we go, and bam! Look at that. Got it. Yes. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm still playing the shadow music in the background. Yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Oh yeah, thanks again everyone who submitted fan art, and if anyone's going to be submitting some fan art, I'm looking forward to it. I'll show it off next time we stream some more story work stuff. Really cool. Bye everyone.